All right, Clem.
What's
Glad to have you back.
Good to be back with you, Capone. I can't complain.
Man, that's what's up, man. Man, I've been seeing you doing some good numbers and doing things online, man. You moving out there.
Yeah, I'm trying to make something happen. You know, I got a hell of a story, so why not tell it?
Man, that's what it is. Well, recently I've been seeing Jeezy's been on a press run. I believe he has a new book coming out in, I believe, next month or in August.
Okay.
Have you had a chance to check any of that out?
Shit, hell no. I'm like everybody else. I don't want to read that shit.
You don't want to read it? I believe he's gonna talk about his story and everything he's been through. So you should be in there.
No. Anybody know me and anybody know Jeezy, he ain't gonna put me in that book. To be honest with you, he might not be talking about nobody but himself, because that's what he's about, himself. In that book, he's gonna talk about how he made it all the way to the top by himself. So, you know, it's lonely at the top. So let him have that. I'll let him have that. But what can he really tell us though, man? Like, I don't understand. I might check it out, read it, throw it in the fire barrel, and see how they feel about it.
So you don't think the book is gonna be accurate?
I mean, most of the shit that he probably gonna talk about is just shit that you already should know. You know what I'm saying? It's just like all the books that you read. It's a bunch of shit that you already really know. Because if you've been following him or following any artist from the beginning that writes a book, if you follow him, you already know the whole story. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing you really can tell me because I already know. If you ain't putting me up on no game, you know. But he's going to be in the book talking about himself, because you got to think about it. Who is he going to talk about? Because you let him tell it, the beginning of his career was the worst part. He ain't had nobody he could trust around him. He was unhappy. So, I mean, you already told us everything. You know, he just trying to work his move. Albums ain't selling, so he moved to books. He tried the podcast thing. That didn't work either. So, you know, write a book. Keep yourself in motion, I guess.
Well, I believe at one point you spoke on Kinky B and him cutting Kinky out of some of the deals.
I mean, yeah, he cut Kinky out, not of some of the deals, all the deals. Not just some of the deals. Like that video I put up, like that was the lawyer telling the judge that Kinky B had nothing to do with CTE. And that was all lies. Everybody know that. He cut him out of that deal. He cut him out the 8732 deal. He cut him out the Avion deal. He cut Carbon 15 out the Avion deal. Carbon 15 is the one who brought the Avion deal to the table. And he told him he didn't want to do it and went back behind his back and made the deal.
Damn. Okay, and so Kinky B was with him from the beginning. Was Kinky B like the beginning, right?
Yeah, before me. Before Coach K, before anybody, Kinky B was there. Because you got to understand, when he told the story, he said him and Kinky B met in alternative school. So that means they've been rocking since junior high and high school.
Okay. And what was their relationship like when you were working with him?
Kink and Jeezy? Shit, yeah. They was brothers. It was a bond that you couldn't break. You feel me? He knew him like his backhand, and he knew him like his backhand. So when I came around, all I seen was family shit. You feel me? Cause him and Kink was family. And all I seen was a bunch of family-oriented brotherhood type shit. So that's what really got me locked in like that. You know what I'm saying? And me seeing him and Kink go half on everything, and me really witnessing that, me witnessing Kink going to his house and getting 40, 50,000 now so him and Jeezy can pay bills on houses and cars they got for the growth of CTE. You feel me?
So Kinky B was actually putting money up too? So it was his money being invested into everything?
It was his money being invested too. You gotta understand, him and Kink this is before rap. So him and Kink was in the streets together. You feel me? It wasn't, you gotta think about it, how like if you look at Big Meech and T, right? That's how Jeezy and Kinky B was. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they was.
Gotcha. Okay, well, is there anything that you've seen during these interviews or anything that you kind of like, you know what I'm saying, wanted to speak on?
Man, not really, because I don't even read the comments, so I don't know what they saying. But it's just, only thing I really want to speak on is he just keep, far as Jeezy, he keeps want to talk about the shit he did at the beginning or whatever he did for his crew, but it all be lies. Like he said something about he paid 10 million in bail. Like, that's cap. 10 million in bail, let me tell you something. Jeezy gonna let your ass get life. He ain't paying that type of money, man. Man, I know niggas bonds that wasn't even that much and he didn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna talk about that because the people I'm talking about, they asked me just to leave them out of it. You feel me? But it's people that he didn't even go bond out for situations that was all about CTE. People family had to put their houses up on some cases. On some other cases, a few people had to go get their own lawyers because he didn't get them for them. Like, it's a lot of shit, man. But as long as he keep bringing that false narrative around, I'm gonna clear it up for everybody.
All right, so you meet Jeezy through Coach K, and you guys start working. Now, what is the first show that you guys actually do together?
The first show we actually do together was the Bounce in Atlanta, birthday bash weekend. Jeezy had his first show at the Bounce, and that's when we was all there. And that's when I first met Kinky B.
Okay, well, how was it that night? You know what I'm saying? Like, what was Jeezy? You know, what everything looked like?
I mean, it was crazy. Everything looked like a movie. You gotta understand, Jeezy's pulling up, him and his people pulling up in brand new 745 BMWs. They jumping out with Jacob's on and rose gold jewelry. Cause that's when Jeezy had the rose gold. He had a rose gold CTE chain with the rose gold. I want to say it was a Jacob, or it might have even been, I don't know what kind of watch it was, but like the scene was there. Kinky B pulled up in his Benz, like it was a movie. And you can talk about some niggas that's not even signed yet. They pulling up on their own money. You feel me?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Okay, and now at some point, I know early on when you guys are performing, there's a situation where Ti is at a club, or you guys are going to be opening up for Ti, and Ti kind of just jumps on stage ahead of you guys.
No, that was the Bounce. That was the Bounce. That was the club. That was our first show. And when they called us to the stage, him and his crew jumped on stage. But we didn't feel like it was no disrespect, because that's what you should do. If this is your territory, this is your home, I'm about to jump on stage and take over, do my show, and let it keep moving. And you gotta understand, T.I. was a big artist. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like he was a small time artist. He had clout and running shit. So especially in his hood, he was the biggest thing that probably came out of his hood when we was around.
Okay, and then a couple of days later, you guys are out of college?
Yeah, a couple of days later, we was at the AU, and they had a big concert on the football field. But they let everybody van in except for ours. I could understand because we weren't even signed yet to a label. It was a Come and Shop With Me van. It was Jeezy's van, and we had the Come and Shop With Me album wrapped around it, and it had like 22s or 24s on the van. So we used to be riding around the city just putting on and passing out and putting up posters and just being out. So when they seen us coming, they blocked our van, told us we couldn't come. So me and my niggas parked the van up the street, and we took some CDs and flyers and just started walking. And that's when we heard T.I. performing, and he had said some shit. Like, I heard it's a new trap guy named Cheesy or Young Jeezy, and you tell him I said whatever he said, and he dropped his song that was popping at the time. I can't really remember.
Even though he's dissing you, he's talking about you, and T.I. is probably, at that point, the biggest thing in the South.
Yeah. Yep. And then when you hear about, how it happens when you the biggest thing in the South, and everybody's coming to you talking about who about to be the next biggest thing in the South. And I felt like a motherfucker felt away. So after that night, I mean, to me, I really didn't think nothing of it, because I knew once I go back and relay the message, it was gonna be on, because I already seen what type of time these niggas on. You feel me? So I already knew when we went back and relayed the message, it was gonna be up. So I went back, relayed the message, and we end up going to T.I.'s party later that night in Buckhead. And I think it was Meech, J-Bo, I want to say Blue Da Vinci, and some other guys, and Jeezy, and me and my two homeboys, and Coach. I think Coach was there. And it was supposed to be T.I.'s party, a Grand Hustle party, but Meech and them had bought the whole upstairs out, the VIP. And the nigga T.I. never showed up to the party. So later on that night or that week, we end up being at Magic City, and Jeezy and T.I. end up running into each other. And they had a couple of words. They were just having a conversation back and forth, and then Meech squashed the shit. Meech got in between them and told them, y'all gotta get money together. Y'all can't be beefing. That ain't the way you gonna do it. So, and that's before we was signed. You feel me? So that's why it was really never no beef between Jeezy and T.I. in the media or nothing, because that shit was way before then.
And you guys became good friends after that, right? Everybody was cool.
Yeah, everybody was cool. Yeah, for sure.
And now, at what point did you kind of figure out like Jeezy is gonna be a big thing, like it's going down?
When Coach K called me, you know what I'm saying? I knew he had to be. He ain't about to call and brag on nobody he don't think got it. You feel me? And when I finally came down and met Jeezy, my first time even being around him, I just knew, I was like, hey, we out of here. And that's before the music. Like, that's before, I want to say, when Streets is Watching, when he was working on Streets is Watching, I knew he had it. Like, even just being around him and his, some people just got that star power. You know what I'm saying? Some people know how to charm the room. Some people know how to control the room, and they just got it. And he just had it. And that's before the rap. Like, anybody that knew him before he was rapping, you would think that he was already rapping. You feel what I'm saying? Because he got the jewelry, he got the cars. He's going in rooms with people that got millions and blending in. You know what I'm saying? He's looking like one of them.
When all this is going down, you know what I'm saying, you guys are on your way up. How do you guys end up linking up with Gucci Mane?
I think he hooked up with Gucci Mane through just by being out, and Gucci Mane signed to a guy named HB the Boss. It was Sign Yourself Records. That's what Gucci Mane was signed to first. And just being out and having mutual friends, and everybody got had the same plan, trying to do rap.
And how do you guys end up doing So Icy?
I think it was something that Jeezy, Coach, and them put together. You feel me? I really couldn't really tell you how. I just know it happened, and then we ended up shooting the video for it, and it turned out to be a big song in Atlanta and around the world. You know what I'm saying? But
the song goes crazy.
Yeah. And that's because of us. That's because of Jeezy, right? That's why the song go crazy. I'm not saying you might like the other guy, but if it wasn't for us on that record wouldn't have went that far.
And then so you guys do this big song, So Icy. And now at one point, you guys hook up for another song,
Black
Black
Tea.
Tea. Okay, and what happens with recording Black Tea?
We recorded it. Everything went good, but then it went. I think it went kind of left when we went back to the studio to hear Gucci Mane's verse on Black Tea. So after we got into it with the big cat niggas, cause we weren't even into it with Gucci, the problem had came with the record label that he was with and the people that was on the record label. You know what I'm saying? Somebody tried to talk slick to Jeezy inside their studio, and we wasn't going for it. So we had a gun standoff in their studio. And Gucci Mane got in the middle of it, told everybody chill, or we can't do this, we trying to work. And we end up leaving the studio, and then after that, like probably after the song Black Tea came out, and then we about to drop Trap or Die.
Well, hold on, real quick. What was Jeezy doing during the time of the standoff?
He was standing there with his gun out too, pointed. We was all strapped. Like, I want to say it probably was like maybe 9 or 10 of us. We all had guns. So when he pulled that move, and you gotta understand, this is before, like, we still in the streets. You feel me? Like Jeezy and them is still in the streets. So you gotta understand. So I'm running around with niggas that's still in the streets doing their thing. So it was still on go if anything went crazy. You feel me? So everybody had a gun. Me, goddamn Carbon, goddamn Kinky B, Dank, Fire Chief, Slick, Puller. Nigga, everybody had pistols. And there wasn't no security around. It was just us.
Was there anybody else there that we would know of besides just Gucci?
Waka.
Waka was there.
Yeah, Waka was there. Yeah. Yep, Waka was there. He wasn't even rapping yet. Matter of fact, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, that was Gucci's man. So, but when that shit happened, Waka wasn't even rapping yet.
Okay, so you guys leave this session, and are you guys thinking like, oh, like there's about to be beef, or you guys like, oh, everything is cool?
Nah, we was just like them niggas. We just left and like them niggas. That's all it was. They really didn't. We know how we was like. They really didn't want it, so we just kept it moving. But you gotta understand, their office was in the same building as our office, in the same plaza. So when you turned in the plaza, it was the Dirty South Studios. On the other side, it was L.A. Reid's office. And then after you got Dirty South Studios, it was our office. And then if you go around the corner of the plaza, that's where the Big Cat Records was.
Oh, so you guys had to see these guys then?
Yeah, we did, but not really, because we didn't kick it at the office. You feel me? We weren't at the office like that. We'll be at the studio next door to the office, but it's the same building. So, but no, we had to see them, but we didn't, because I really think they moved studios after that. Like a few weeks or a month after that, they had changed studios. Cause matter of fact, I think our office. No, that was after that, when our office got shot up. That was after that.
You guys have this standoff, and I believe at one point you guys do a show together, and I believe where all you guys' cars get broken into.
Yeah, I think it was if I want to say, it was at Club Libra in Atlanta. On their side of town, we happened to go do a show with him, and while we did the show, everything was cool. We did our shit, but when we came out, all of our cars was broken into. But it's like the two cars that they was in, it wasn't broken into. So the police was out there, and so after the motherfuckers broke into our cars, they had broken into the car. Then we had some AKs in there. They had took them. But we all still had straps on us. The AKs was in the car. So when we come out and we see our cars are broken into, Everybody with us automatically pulled out their guns. Even Jeezy. Jeezy pulled out the Desert Eagle in front of the police and was talking shit to him. Like, man, we was talking shit. Like, y'all motherfuckers have broken into our shit and woo woo woo. But really, we were just being cautious because we knew the niggas we had like 2 AKs and they had took them. So we didn't want to be caught slipping, walking out to the car. So once we seen the cars was broken into, we all pulled out and was walking around. And the police went back in the building and shut the back door. And after that, that's when everything went left. That's when we didn't with them or none of that. And cause it seemed like they set us up. Because wasn't none of they shit broken into. But the beef really came after Jeezy dropped Trap or Die.
Okay, so Jeezy drops Trap or Die, and on one of his songs, he has a line that says, "Getting more G's than a Gucci bag."
Right. And Gucci Mane thought that was a diss. His own label boss, HB the boss, called us and told us and warned us, like, the think y'all dissing him, that he think y'all dissing him. And then it just wasn't no better because you got everybody in his ear and everybody that's his peer around him saying, boy, Jeezy killed that So Icy. Jeezy killed that Black T. Boy, so you know, that gives you animosity too. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it, because it was never over So Icy. It was just over bullshit. It was over you thinking somebody dissing you, talking about more G's in the Gucci bag. I don't understand why he think everything Gucci got something to do with him.
Do you know where it came from that everybody thought it was over that song?
It came from him. It came from Gucci Mane. Gucci Mane thought that shit. And he told his homeboy HB the boss, and HB the boss told us. And it was told to HB the boss, like, hell no, we weren't dissing that nigga.
No. I was saying, do you know where it came from that everybody thought it was over So Icy?
It came from Gucci. It came from Gucci Mane. He said that first. That people was calling him trying to buy So Icy, and and we wanted it, and that's why the beef was over So Icy and all this. But that was all lies. Cause we know what the beef was over. The beef was over, he had low self-esteem back then. You know what I'm saying? So he felt like and once he did them songs with Jeezy and he seen Jeezy was about to take off past him, and the people that was behind him say, hey man, you gotta go at that nigga. And that's what he did. They put a battery in his back. Cause So Icy never fitted on none of our mixtapes, man. That shit wouldn't go on nothing that we put out. And Jeezy knew that. We weren't trying to buy that. Now Big Meech was trying to buy that So Icy song. Like I told before, they had the meeting at Club Miami. No lie. He tried to buy the So Icy song and Gucci Mane would not sell it to him. But Meech wasn't mad. Meech was like, okay, I'm just trying to buy the song for Blue. You know what I'm saying? Because that was his artist. Blue was his artist. It ain't like he was trying to buy the song for Jeezy.
Now, I believe there was a situation where Meech or BMF kind of helped Gucci Mane out.
Oh, when he got smacked in Jazzy T's? Yep. He got smacked, and they was about to pap him out, and Meech and them and the BMF niggas stood up for him. And they thought by doing that Gucci Mane was gonna have some alliance to him. They thought he was gonna come in, make their label bigger and all this. Cause if you look at an interview with Blue Da Vinci say that Gucci Mane was trying to be BMF at once.
How did you guys meet Gucci Mane? And how did
Gucci's a street. He just be outside all the time. You feel me? Gucci was like a jack boy, part-time jack boy, part-time dope dealer, part-time rapper. Gucci was a slash man. I knew Gucci before I knew Jeezy. You know what I'm saying? So Gucci used to always be in the club. Gucci already be in the club on the wall looking at with a drink with his hat down like that, trying to get him a victim. You feel me? And, he was cool. Meech knew him. He was cool. And he even used to try to get down with the mob, but Meech was telling like, nah, man, be out here robbing. You feel me? We can't have no that's known robbers getting down. It wasn't like he was just no robber, but know that he gonna get down on it. You feel me? Type. So we just kind of wasn't doing that at the time. So he always been a friendly.
No, they was trying to get him to be BMF. Just like they was trying to get Jeezy to be BMF. But no, it didn't happen.
So Meech tries to buy this song. It doesn't work out. And Gucci ends up dissing Jeezy. And at this point, you guys are on the road going hard, right?
Yep, on the road touring off of mixtapes. Yep.
And how's that going for you guys?
Shit's going crazy. We running around in different cities every day, you know, doing shows and having fun. It was a hell of a time. And you gotta think about it. We just ain't. You gotta understand. We're running around doing shows. I'm talking about the crew. We're running around doing shows with a guy that is out. That's a millionaire out of the streets. You feel me? So really, a lot of shit that people went through in the music industry coming up, we really didn't go through it because our boss came in with money. You feel me? So we never really went through the struggle of having problems or having a way to get to the show or shit like breaking down because our bosses and them, him and Kink, they was already millionaires. You know what I'm saying? Kink was already living in a mansion on 400 before the rap. You know what I'm saying? So they already was in the new cars, new jewelry. It wasn't a struggle really.
And now you guys hear these disses, and how come it takes Jeezy so long to respond?
Cause for one, we was on the road a lot, and for two, he had that stroke. This is all at the same time going on. He had the stroke, and he couldn't talk. His whole left side of his body was paralyzed. You know what I'm saying? Face sagging down, muscles is up. So there's no way he can respond. And all we doing is sitting back. But you gotta understand, a lot of shit didn't come to our table, didn't come across our table either. Because you gotta understand, he was doing that shit in the hood clubs. Like when I say Jeezy and them came into the game with money, Jeezy was hanging out and going out in Buckhead. You feel me? Buckhead and on Peachtree and all that. Like Jeezy wasn't going to the hood and all that because he wasn't from Atlanta. For two, he had money already. So I gotta go where I can spend my money at. Where I gotta go where the people that got my type of money are at. So when he was doing all that dissing, we wasn't getting it until we talked to motherfuckers. They were like, hey, you ain't heard that mixtape Gucci Mane put out last week or 2 weeks ago? He talking about a corporate thug and what is a CTE? And we like, what? So once we caught a hold of it and Jeezy still couldn't talk, and then he healed up a little bit, and that's when we went to go do the damn thing video with Fabulous up in New York. You know, if you look at that video, Jeezy's face is kind of up still a little bit. But after that, that's when we came back home and Jeezy did Stay Strapped.
Jeezy does Stay Strapped, man, and this song goes crazy. And at the end of this song, he puts a bounty out on Gucci Mane's chain.
Right. So
what are you thinking when that happens?
When he put down the end of the song?
Yep.
I wasn't thinking nothing. I was with the shit. I was hoping I ran past his chain. You know what I'm saying? I would have got that 10 bands if Jeezy was gonna pay. But me knowing Jeezy, you would never got paid. He would have Cash Apped you. And Cash App wasn't even out back then.
So you guys put out this song, and it goes crazy in the streets, and you guys continue to diss him.
Yep, because he was continuing to diss us. Because he had hooked up with DJ Drama now. So you gotta understand, that's when him and DJ Drama dropped that, was it that Gucci Mane versus Jeezy? I don't know. One of them two, but that when DJ Drama had got with him and they were still dissing. So that's when we came out when Jeezy dropped that 24-23.
Okay, you guys dropped that, and that has some Gucci disses in it.
Oh yeah. I'm on my Louis shit today. Some Gucci, man. These niggas still on my dick. They like some coochies, man.
And how are you guys all feeling about that? The crew and everybody inside of CTE.
Shit, we loving it. We with it. Them niggas. You know, that's how we was rocking. Like, them. They dissing, and when they run across us, it's going down. You know what I'm saying? That's the crew wasn't like we wasn't scared or we wasn't ducking the fades or nothing. It was like, shit, is this what Jeezy's doing? This is what we doing. That was the plan. That was what it was. Whatever Jeezy with, we all was with. If he was with the bullshit, we was with the bullshit. You know, when you part of a crew, it's whatever. You be whatever they with, you with. You know what I'm saying? It ain't no you ain't with it or no, he ain't like that or not. No, if you better be with it, or motherfucker gonna clown you and get you up out of there.
You guys and Gucci are going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? You guys are making these mixtapes. Things are heating up.
But
and at what
he's doing more than us. We got 2 songs talking about him. Cause you gotta understand, we was blowing up. So we had a real fan base that wasn't even really worried about that beef. You know what I'm saying? That beef really grew in Atlanta. Then it really went worldwide because we was worldwide. You feel me? Other than that beef would have stayed in Atlanta because Gucci Man wasn't big as us. He got as big as us because he was dissing us. You feel me? I'm just being honest. If it wasn't for Young Jeezy, it would not be a Gucci Man. Cause what coattail could he have rolled this long?
Yeah, so you guys are going back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Things are heating up. And at what point do you guys have your first run-in with, Gucci Man or his crew?
The first run-in would probably have to be Central Station. Central Station. Yeah, when we had, cause see, Central Station was a hood club, right? And we never hung out in hood clubs. Cause it was just like I said, it was different. We like Jeezy and them pulling up in Ferraris and Porsches and shit. So you had to go where you was accommodated at. So one day we just happened to go to Central Station. And when we got to Central Station, true story, we got down in the pit. And guess who's down in the pit? Gucci Man and his homeboys. And our homeboys and the niggas in our crew activated. And he ran out the club and left his homeboys. And then they got beat. True story.
Damn. Okay, you guys run into him at this hood club. Things go left. And now
things went right. They went right.
Okay. Things go down between you guys. Now, I believe there's a situation in Miami or something where you run into Gucci Man's homies.
We really don't know who they was. They just had a lot of Gucci Man on and a lot of whatever Brick Squad back then, I guess. It was a lot of, and they just had that on and they was repping it. I don't know who it was, really. Cause it was just a bunch of niggas, and we seen a bunch of niggas with some shit on that we didn't like. So once again, our crew activated. They activated. And when that shit was over, it was niggas' shoes out there, niggas' hats and clothes left. Cause niggas got the hell out of there. They did. We got the hell out of there after the police showed up. We had to go down the fire escape of the hotel. And then we had to run down the alley. Man, I'm talking about blocks. We really didn't run. We were just walking, but we had to get out of the hotel. And we ended up going back to Jeezy Hotel and letting him know what just happened. And shit, he had to get us, he got everybody all new rooms in another hotel.
Okay. And now this is where, things kind of get kind of confusing, because I seen at one point it seemed like you guys kind of squashed the beef. I believe before he went to jail, and Gucci Man wanted to do a song with Jeezy, and but I don't really know the whole story with this.
Um, I never heard of that, but I do know for a fact that him and Jeezy was having secret conversations, you know what I'm saying? But Jeezy could never act on it because, he still had the original crew around, you feel me? He still had the original crew around. So he couldn't make that move not after everything that had happened. You feel me? All the fights, all the pressing niggas lines, and all that. Like, even if he was having secret conversations, he couldn't make the move that he wanted to make. And maybe, at the end of the day, I guess he did want to be Gucci Mane friend. Cause after all that, he made the move. But it was after he had no contact with nobody that he could catch heat from. You feel me? Cause it's a lot of heat behind that shit.
Okay. And so I believe at one point Gucci Man shows up to, I don't know if it's your guys' party, but T.I.'s party, and he's standing there or something.
He came to one of our parties. I think he talked about that before when he said he came to the party and didn't nothing happen to him. He came to one of our parties and he stood by the front door with the police the whole time. And that's no lie. I'm not telling this is a true story. He stood by the police the whole time. You want to know how I know? Because I was watching him the whole time. And probably 13 other niggas was watching him too. And we was spread it around the club hoping he came in.
And he never goes in.
He never came in. He stood by the door the whole time. He didn't go get a drink. He didn't go take a piss. He didn't do nothing. But you let them tell it. Oh, he walked in. He walked around. He bought bottles. Man, okay. Gucci Mane was not allowed in Atlanta city limits for at least 6 to 7 years, man. And that's true story. And he knew that. Anytime that he would even try to play in the city or go party, we would get calls. Boy, you know that boy Gucci Mane in here? What? On our way. And then he talked, and it'd be a lot of false narratives. Then he want to act like he did a show in Macon and didn't nothing happen to him. Like, come on, man. The Macon show, nigga, that nigga paid state troopers, Macon PD, the National Guard, motherfucking Secret Service on the roof, snipers and shit. Like, no lie. This nigga had every law enforcement agency at this concert. But then want to act like somebody was gonna do something to you. Nobody want to do nothing to you. Why? So you can tell? Let's just be real.
Were you guys surprised when you found out he was doing a show in Macon?
No. Like I said, he's piggybacking off of us. So why not go down here to Macon and do a show from a place where Jeezy is known from being from, but he's not from? And Jeezy is affiliated with the Crip gang, right? It's Bloods down there too. So Gucci Mane claimed to be a Blood. Let's go to Macon and do a show, and all the Bloods are gonna come out. Just not even saying the Bloods even liked Gucci Mane, but we're gonna go when because he's dissing Jeezy and the Crips. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. One thing people probably don't know a lot about is that, Jeezy's Crip affiliation and how that kind of happened. I believe you mentioned he knew Kinky B since high school.
Him and Kinky B met in alternative school, like boys' school. And that's where him and Kinky B met. But Kinky B was already a member. That's the whole reason he was in there. You know what I'm saying? So once Jeezy and Kinky met and Jeezy came to Macon to see Kinky, and he seen what was going on. You know what I'm saying? So all Jeezy seen with his eyes was, well, we can get some money. And Jeezy know how to get some money. So him and Kink became best friends. So that's where his Crip affiliation come from. It ain't like he was put on the hood or nothing like that.
That was gonna be my next question. So he never actually got put on.
No, he was guilty by association. You know what I'm saying? His best boy was a respected gang member. So, you know, it's like you being a respected gang member and you bring your little cousin around and everybody with him. He's a cool ass nigga. You know if you're gonna be around, you gotta do what we do. You gotta rep us when you ain't around us if you're gonna hang around us. That's the only way you get some money around here. The only way you could be around here, you gotta be on what we on. But he never had to get put on the hood because that was King Boy. You know what I'm saying? He ain't here for that. He ain't here for that. He here to get some money, and we gonna get some money with him. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was. But you gotta understand, Jeezy had got, well, my people had told me, like, you know, Jeezy had got DP'd in Macon one night. You know what I'm saying? But it really wasn't a DP because he's not part of the crew of the members. But some of the members had got on his ass because he was trying to go big on niggas. You feel me? You know, he trying to go big. I got the brand new car. I got the money. So he was trying to go big on some of the members, and they papped him out. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. Okay.
And that's before me, but I know the story.
Jeezy, you know, he has this connection with these dudes in Macon, and he brings them with him to Atlanta.
Right.
So that's like his.
But see, his affiliation in Macon, like they all Crips, but Jeezy and Kinky B is from Duncan Block. And the other homies are from Univille. They're two Crip neighborhoods, but they different. You know what I'm saying? And Kinky B is from Duncan Block. So that's where Jeezy gets the Duncan Block thing from. But the crew that came to Atlanta was from Univille. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, King. Rest in peace, Gangsta Dre. Rest in peace, Pookie Loke. Shout out to Scrap Loke. Shout out to Badass. Shout out to Ike Loke, J-Bone, Tutu. Shout out to Killer, Ike, you know, the homies.
So where's Macon, Georgia at?
Macon, Georgia is like an hour and a half away from Atlanta going south towards Savannah.
Okay, and what about Univille?
Oh, that's Macon. That's all Macon. That's Macon, Georgia. Duncan Block and Univille is just the neighborhoods.
Oh, okay. I see. And so they were probably clicked up together, I take it?
Yeah. They both got respect for each other. Yep. They both got the same enemies. And you know what I'm saying? And you gotta understand, that's how the connection even was like that, because Kinky B was from Duncan Block and the other homie from Univille, but they all knew each other because they all banged Crip, you know, gangster Crip. So, like on Duncan Block side, shout out to my nigga Big Cuz, Big Fife. That was one of the homies. You know, Kid was one of the homies. That, you know, they were just together. You know what I'm saying?
Now, I believe you had said that you guys were the ones that kind of brought the gang shit to Atlanta?
In my eyes, yeah. Because when I got to Atlanta, I didn't see no gang shit. You understand? Like, I really, even when I first got with Jeezy, I didn't know they was cripping. You feel me? It was them niggas was rich. Him and Kink was rich. So once I started meeting the rest of the crew, and that's when it came about, like, oh, okay, this is what we doing. You feel me? So.
Okay, and you know, you guys, all these Crip dudes are in Atlanta. And I know at one point, you had mentioned that a lot of dudes started to claim blood, kind of
Yeah, because you
just
gotta
going against
understand, we was
Jeezy.
running around painting the city blue. I'm talking about the whole crew, everybody's in blue. If you a Crip or not, everybody was in blue. And that's how we ran around the city of Atlanta. And like I said, when I first got there, I didn't see no gangs like that. I seen niggas claiming they block, East Side, the West Side, the SWATs, all that shit. But once we started doing that shit, in my eyes, that shit just went haywire. Cause you had Gucci Man them start claiming blood, and they started doing all this shit, and whoever else started doing all the shit too. Anybody. It was like if they was against us, they was claiming blood.
Did you guys get a lot of backlash or, kind of criticism maybe for not being from Atlanta?
I mean, hell yeah, a lot of that shit came. A lot of the beef came from not being from Atlanta, because that was what that everybody would always say. Man, he ain't from Atlanta. Them niggas ain't from Atlanta. They ain't from Atlanta. But we took over Atlanta. You feel me? And we still had people with us from Atlanta, like my homie Slick Puller, aka Script Puller. He from Atlanta, 4th Ward. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is, but you really can't say like Jeezy been going to Atlanta. He been having money. He been in Atlanta. So niggas in the hood wouldn't know him. You only would know him if you had paper and you was moving around like that. So when he blew up and everybody started trying, where he from? He ain't from, he from Macon. He from Hawkinsville. He ain't even from Atlanta. Y'all loving this nigga like that, but we had more love and hate. The hate came from certain rappers, but they weren't making no noise.
You guys are going crazy. I know you guys are doing a lot of shows, moving a lot of mixtapes. What was that time like, kind of just grinding and pressing up these mixtapes and handing them out?
Man, that shit was amazing. Sitting there, sitting there doing that, and then seeing all y'all hard work pay off, and y'all just keep elevating and elevating and elevating. We went from like I said, G's no been had money, so they could have paid people to do it themselves and do woo woo woo. But we literally did that shit ourselves in one of our houses or in the office or wherever, just putting CDs together and getting out there ourselves and passing them out. You know what I'm saying? Getting out there ourselves and putting up posters. Wherever we was at, and we had posters in the car, we pulling over, we putting this shit up. So at that time, that shit was fun. Because it was something that we wanted to do. And to be able to do that, and then we knew we was about to go out and touch the people with this shit, and we knew we was giving these folks some good quality work. We just weren't putting no bullshit together. So I would have to say, sitting there doing that and knowing that what you doing is for, this shit about to make y'all bigger than ever. It was just exciting. It was like, let's keep going. It was the best time of my life. You let Jeezy tell it was probably the worst time of his. He always try to downplay the old days for some reason.
Now you guys are going crazy, and you guys end up getting signed to 3 different labels at one time?
Yeah, he was signed to Loon Time, but that was the Bad Boy deal. And then he signed to Def Jam for a label deal, for his label deal and solo deal with Def Jam. So it was signed to 2, really, Bad Boys and Def Jam at the same time.
Okay, he does the album with Bad Boy.
He does
and
Boys
that
in
goes
the
crazy.
He does Boys in the Hood.
Boys in the Hood. And at the same time, his solo career is also taking off.
Yeah, because at the same time, Trap or Die is moving still. You know what I'm saying? Trap or Die is still going crazy. And then getting on, like, them Boys probably was the biggest song on Boys in the Hood. You know what I'm saying? And that really just, that really just, by them having the buzz and being signed to Bad Boy, it just, it helped us. It stepped us up. It helped us with promo. It helped us to get out there. And, you know, when Jeezy did them boys, I'm sure that he was like, you know, I got to kill this shit. Puffy with this shit. This shit about to be worldwide. This shit about to make my solo career go crazy. So that's what happened. If it's taking too long to lock up, bring it back. You was short anyway, so bring a stack. You already know we ain't had to open up a whole thing since 94. So you know, come on, man. That's a legendary verse. So
now, why not just sign to Diddy outright and just go with Diddy full throttle?
cause really he was just doing that with Jazzy Faye and Block. You know, and I really think, I don't know why. He had to have a master plan. Like, cause that's some shit that's never heard of, done before, really. But it was offers on the table. And L.A. Reid, you know, who wouldn't want to be signed to L.A. Reid? No disrespect to Puffy, but L.A. Reid, like, he's that guy. And soon, as a matter of fact, I think when we signed the Def Jam, I think L.A. Reid had left some months after that and went to Atlantic Records. Cause after that, yeah, Jay-Z was the president.
Okay, and that's how you guys ended up getting close with Jay-Z.
Yep, cause he became the president of Def Jam right when we got signed, damn near. Cause I remember L.A. Reid leaving after we got signed. And rest in peace to Shakur, too.
And now also, you guys had the BMF thing going. You know, I know you guys were working with BMF.
We wasn't working with BMF. Meech and Jeezy was friends. It was never no work with BMF, unless you're talking about the other work. But as far as the music shit, they had nothing to do with CTE and Young Jeezy. Young Jeezy was never a BMF artist.
Were you guys ever considering signing with them?
No, they was considering signing Jeezy, but that shit was never in the plans of Jeezy and CTE. Never.
At one point, Meech got shot.
Yeah, Meech got shot in Buckhead at the club. I think that's when Wolf got killed. I think Wolf shot him in the ass.
Okay, and were you there when that happened?
Yeah, we was there, but I wasn't there, like, right there seeing the shots, because me and my homeboy and Coach and them had already walked around the corner to get in the car. But I think Coach knew what was going on, because Coach had came out and was like, "Hey, we got to go." You know what I'm saying? So he might have knew what was about to go on, and it went on. And that's when Meech and Jeezy really got close, because I think after they went back to Meech's house and he realized he was shot, Jeezy is the one who drove him to the hospital.
Okay. Now, one thing that also happens is eventually Meech ends up going to jail. And this kind of has an effect on things also. You know, things kind of start to go sideways with you guys in BMF.
When he went to prison. Yeah, when he went to jail and prison, yeah. But that was only it really wasn't no beef. It was just certain people in the crew had certain shit to say. But just because they thought, because, you know, some people thought that it was more than what it was because Meech and Jeezy relationship. So, and then you had Blue Da Vinci going around and saying little shit and putting shit in people's ears and saying little hateful shit, trying to discredit what Jeezy has built, like they had something to do with building it. Nah, Meech and Jeezy was just friends. That's all it was. Meech didn't pay for no studio time. Meech didn't pay for no videos. Meech didn't give Jeezy no jewelry. Only thing he probably gave Jeezy was a car to drive. You know what I'm saying? That was just awesome love and being a friend. You know what I'm saying? Wasn't on no, or maybe Meech was trying to just bait him in for the big deal. You know, when he was trying to sign him for 2 or 3 million to BMF, and that shit got, what they call that shit, dead doc. Like, never. Like, we know where this shit going. It's going to the feds.
Okay, so there was some talks though of Jeezy signing, or they tried to have some talks to sign Jeezy?
Yeah, they tried. Meech tried to sign him. Yeah, but they were we ain't because you got to understand, like, people fail to understand that you offering a man $2 to $3 million to sign with a organized crime family. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just be real. It's out there in the open. Everybody know what was going on. You offering a man 2 to 3 million that has 2 to 3 million himself too from the streets to come and sign with something that he's trying to get away from. Come on now, you had to think he was smarter than that. You feel me? And he was smarter than that.
When Jeezy gets signed, you guys actually have some issues with BMF.
Yeah.
And I believe, and there's a meeting that's called, and you guys kind of squash everything.
But hold on, this is before we was signed. What you talking about? This is before we was signed, and this is before Meech went to jail.
Okay.
So the situation you talking about, something had happened with Jeezy and some of the niggas in BMF. And more than likely, it was Blue Da Vinci putting shit in niggas' ears. So we had Meech and Jeezy had got on the phone, and him and Meech called a meeting at Magic City. Meech, you bring your crew, I'm gonna bring my crew. And at this time, it's only me, Five Chief, Big Dank, Carbon 15, Slick Puller, Jeezy, and Kinky B. It's only 7 of us. We all got 2 guns apiece on us. And this is true story. So we going to meet them. And before we go meet them, we have a meeting. And Jeezy and Kink is like, hey, we not going to play with these niggas. We ain't going back and forth with these niggas. If these niggas even act like they want to get busy, we them up. There's only 7 of us. It's probably like 20, 30 of them. But 7 of us with 2 guns apiece, that's 14 guns, I think. I can't really do the calculation. 2 times 7, 14. So, and no lie, we had 2 guns on us each. And the word was, if they get out of line, we're going to light this bitch up. And we trying to hit nothing but the bosses. That was the word. But him and Meech squashed the shit. Meech told all his niggas, Jeezy, that's my boy. Jeezy, that's my friend. So y'all shouldn't have no problems with him because it's not even y'all partner. But if y'all got a problem with him, y'all got a problem with me. So let's get it out in the open now. But didn't nobody have a problem. And shit moved on, and we went back to partying together every night.
And now Meech gets arrested. You know, he goes away for a long time. And I believe BMF shows up at one of your parties?
Yeah. They showed up at a party that we had at Club Royal. It was a CT party. They was invited because we really didn't have no problems with them right then. But they had a few, like, when Meech went to prison, so many people started claiming BMF, man. Like, just coming out the woodwork, talking about guys that I never seen around at the beginning when I started seeing BMF. It was just a whole bunch of flunkies coming around, BMF shirts, but really, all the real BMF people are gone and on the run. You know what I'm saying? So they came to our party. They happened to have a white boy from Macon with them, right? It was a white boy from Macon. Matter of fact, he was on the documentary talking about he was an enforcer or whatever he was talking about. I don't know. But it was all cap. But he seemed to want to talk shit about the making people that we had with us. And it had got back to the making people that he was talking shit about Jeezy's crew and all this. So they came to our party. He thought he was safe. But one thing about it, if you talking shit about any nigga that was with us from Univille, you was not safe. Especially if they seen you. They ain't give a damn where you was at either. They was gonna fuck you up. And that's what happened. They came in our party. They had the white boy with them. One of the homies walked right over there in the middle of their crew and knocked the white boy shit back. And then we started scuffling, and then the niggas, one of the niggas with them pulled out a gun. So we in the middle of the club, they got guns on us. He got a gun on us. Only one person got a gun. But we ain't got no guns on us because this is our party, you feel me? So we left all our guns in the car. So we didn't think nothing of it, but I always say everything happened for a reason, because if we would have had our guns on us, who say anybody would be here right now, right? You see what I'm saying? I might have been killed. Jeezy might have got killed. They might have got killed. We might have been doing time in prison or something. So when I look at things in life, everything happened for a reason. It was a reason why everybody with us left their guns in the car. Everybody. So after that shit happened, we end up outside. And the nigga I'm talking about, he still got the gun pointed at us. But it's Jeezy and it's me. You know what I'm saying? And the nigga that was with BMF is right in front of me and Jeezy. Cause it's me and Jeezy right here in the crew. And he still got the gun pointed right at Jeezy. So Jeezy called his bluff. Jeezy was like, nigga, you ain't gonna shoot shit, nigga. And Jeezy took the gun and put it to his head and was like, shoot, nigga. If you gonna shoot, shoot. And the nigga didn't shoot. And then one of the niggas that was with the other nigga had smacked the gun down. Not smacked it, but grabbed the gun in the hand and pulled it down. And when he did that, the gun barrel snatched Jeezy diamond chain, because he had a diamond chain with all diamond studs around it. And it broke. And we had got all of it back, probably about that much. And they had it. So they try to act like they snatched the chain. So but when we bagged out the door, the nigga still had the gun on us. The police ran in the club and shut the door. You feel me? So as that's happening, everybody's backing up and niggas is like, all right, that's what y'all want to do? All right. So they get to their car. But about time they get to their car, our crew is strapped up. And they on their way over there and shot up every car they was in. As they was pulling off, motherfuckers was chasing them down the street. So later on that week or day, later on a couple of days later, they started calling, talking about, you know, we want the niggas that shot our cars up, give us them niggas and we give you a little chain back and woo. And Jeezy was like, man, who y'all think y'all is? Costa Nostra? Who y'all really think y'all the mob? Or y'all John Gotti or something? Talking about turn over my people? You better hope my people don't catch y'all again. That's what you better hope, so stay aware. Stay safe and dangerous. And that was the word. But right after that happened, the whole BMF crew trickled down. Everybody was gone. Everybody went to jail. Everybody. So even the flunkies was going back to their city where they was from, and they was going over here getting locked up, and motherfuckers was gone. So after that, it wasn't nothing. But you gotta understand, even after that, Jeezy was going to visit Meech in Feds. You know what I'm saying? I know a couple of times he went to go visit him. You feel me? Because I was always there. Either I was sitting outside in the car or I was somewhere down the street, because I never went in. He would go in there, sit for 2 or 3 hours with me outside waiting on him. And that's plenty of time. I know plenty of time he went to go visit homies in the Feds. I was the one that was going to drive him to the Feds and sit in the parking lot until he got done. You know what I'm saying? Because I was his right hand, so I was always around.
Okay.
And I did see something. You asked me earlier about some shit, and I did see something on the blog, or somebody said something about me, and they was like, they tried to make it a narrative that I froze up in a situation. And they know who I'm talking about. I ain't gonna call their name, but they talking about I froze up in the situation. It was all cap. But I can't give them no light, but I know they watching this because I seen them comment on one of the videos you put up. So when they watch this one, they gonna know I'm talking about them.
And BMF and Big Meech, they were at the Soul Survivor video.
Yeah, Soul Survivor video, Getting Money Over Here video, Air Forces video. Yeah.
And what was that like? You know, Jay-Z, I believe, showed up to one of those videos.
Jay-Z showed up to the Soul Survivor video in New York. Yep, he showed up to the Soul Survivor video. And no lie, he had people walking behind him screaming ROC, like kids and just people. Like, that's the first time I ever seen Jay-Z in person. So, and that shit was, you know, I'm a Jay-Z fan. You know what I'm saying? Called Coach K. Coach K is like, growing up, Coach K loved New York music. You feel me? So that's what I grew up listening to. You know what I'm saying? All New York music. So from AZ to Nas to Jay-Z to EPMD to Mobb Deep, you know, like that was Coach K. He loved New York music, so I love New York music. So I remember when Reasonable Doubt came out and all that. Cause Coach went and got that motherfucker and was playing it like it was a listening party for all the homeboys.
Damn, even Reasonable Doubt. That's crazy. And at one point, you guys end up going on tour with Jay-Z?
Yep, Blueprint 3 tour. Yes, sir. Yeah, we went on the Blueprint 3 tour. And that's probably one of the best tours I ever been on in my life. That shit was just amazing. And maybe it was amazing because shit, just being, you know, seeing Jay-Z and Beyonce every day, you know, that shit was a dream come true to be on tour with Jay-Z every day. Walking in his locker room, cheering and having cheers and having a toast after every show. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit was an experience that I loved. Hell yeah. For me, it was good, but for a lot of people, it wasn't. Because our whole crew got locked up on the first day of the tour at Madison Square Garden, New York. The whole crew. So you got to understand, me and Jeezy finished a whole 45-day tour, just me and him. Me, him, and the road manager, and probably one security guard.
Can you take me through what happened? How'd everybody get locked up?
Well, everybody got locked up because one of our security guards didn't take we had to park the buses in New Jersey, right? So once we parked the bus in New Jersey, the security guard was supposed to take the guns off the bus and put them in the hotel room. Cause the bus was coming to Madison Square Garden for the concert. Cause that's where Jeezy's gonna get dressed at. That's where everybody bus was gonna pull up at. So he didn't put the guns in the bus. He didn't put the guns in the hotel. So once we look up, what we still didn't know, the bus is at the arena. So I'm gonna take you through the whole spiel. The bus is at the arena. We still don't know the guns is on the bus. We think they're at the hotel. So we used to hire this off-duty police officer to protect us or to be with us when we was in New York, right? And everybody know this police officer because everybody hired him. And I think I remember me being on the tour bus because how I always happened on tour, once Jeezy was straight and he was on stage, I was back on the bus. You feel me? So I'm on the bus chilling, and the undercover police officer comes on the bus. Well, not undercover, but off duty. He's working for us. But he's supposed to be in there with Jeezy. So, but he don't know I'm on the bus. I'm on the back of the bus with the doors shut. So I hear somebody come on the bus, and I'm like, shit, everybody should be in there with Young. Let me see who the this is. So when I come out the back, it's him. And he got 2 guns. And he's like, I need to leave my guns on the bus so I can go in the building. And I'm like, hell no. I'm like, ain't you the police? You can walk in there with your guns. But hold on, your car is parked right in front of our bus. Put your guns in your car. That's why I told him. So he did it. You know what I'm saying? So after all that, we get back to the hotel. We were staying at the Hotel London. And while we at Hotel London, we see the security guard with a big ass bag that he shouldn't have. So Jeezy like, man, what the fuck he carrying? So I go ask him. I'm like, what's that? He was like, man, that's the guns. The bus came to New York with the guns on them. And I was like, what? So you telling me you right here in front of the Hotel London with a bag of guns in New York, and you know the hip hop cops be watching us. But at the same time, so I go back and tell Jeezy. So Jeezy like, what the? He should have left him on the bus. The bus is gone back to New Jersey. Why would he take him off the bus? I'm like, man, I don't know what the these niggas doing. So after that happened, Jeezy leaves, and cause he's going out to meet Jay-Z at the 40/40 or whatever. So he leaves. So when he leaves, he takes like, I don't even think he take no security with him because he didn't need it. So he leaves, and me and the road managers together trying to figure out the what we're gonna do with these guns. So we tell the security guard, well, he said, me and Clem about to go back to the bus in New Jersey. You need to jump into this van with all the luggage with the guns and go with us, right? He didn't want to do that. He go tell the off-duty police officer that he got the bag of guns and can you take me back to New Jersey? I'll pay you. The police officer tell him hell no and pull off. But once the case was over, we found out why. Because the off-duty officer was already working undercover trying to get us. You feel me? We didn't even know this. Once the paperwork came out and they got all the paperwork from the case, he was an informant for the police. And they said that I don't know if it's true, but they said he had something to do with the Wayne shit when Wayne got locked up in New York and had to do that time. You know what I'm saying? I ain't even gonna call his name because he's dead now, the police officer, rest in peace, but it came out that he was an informant. And if it wasn't for me catching him on our tour bus trying to put two guns on there, they probably would have got the whole tour bus.
You mentioned Lil Wayne. So he was Lil Wayne's security guard, right? When he would come to New York?
Yeah, he was everybody's security guard. If you was an artist and you was coming to New York, like he was the guy everybody hired. You know what I'm saying? But come to find out, he had gotten in some trouble or something and had became an informant.
So he messes up, gets caught, is looking at some time, and they flip him to an informant. And now he's got all these relationships with all these rappers that he does security with. And whenever they come to town, if he sees anything that's illegal, he gets to report it. And then the police can go after these guys.
Right. Because the whole thing about it, if our security guard wouldn't have never told him that he had a bag of guns, that he needed to go back to the bus, they would have never got pulled over. But the off-duty police officer I was talking about, the whole time he really was a hip-hop cop. He was the hip-hop police.
Now, and Lil Wayne, he actually gets arrested on a federal gun charge, right? I believe he's on an airplane when he gets arrested.
No, this was that. I think that was the last one. I'm talking about when he got. Remember when he went to jail in New York for a year for that gun?
Yep.
Cause I want to say, I think the same time he caught his, didn't Ja Rule catch one too?
Ooh, I think so.
I think so, yeah.
Ja Rule caught a gun case too, and he went to jail for a while.
Yep, and I think
around that time.
I think it was around the same time Wayne caught his.
So man, this guy's just reporting everybody. We're gonna put Ja Rule on him too, man. He probably snitched on Ja Rule.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he probably did. But after all of that, cause they got pulled over in Times Square. So the police followed them all the way from the hotel to Times Square when they was on their way to the bus. So I'm already at the bus. The road manager's at the bus. Jeezy's on his way to the bus because he went out to party with Jay-Z. And I think the next show wasn't nothing but, I think, DC or Baltimore or something. But so we're on the bus just waiting. Jeezy gets there to the bus and he's like, where are the rest of the guys at? I'm like, shit, I don't know. I thought they was coming with you. Hell no. So we started calling. Wasn't nobody answering. We sat there for like 30 minutes and Jeezy got up and said, let's go, man. They got their ass. And I was like, damn, up. So then, like probably 30 minutes later, we get a call and they was like, hey, they got your whole crew stretched out at Times Square and they probably got about 17 guns in a bag. But, you know, they end up beating that whole case anyway. But after that, it was that shit. After that, that's when a lot of shit went left, as you can say.
Now, how'd you guys end up beating the case?
I think it was a lot of mishandling of evidence, and the case was like, it was like some shit what they call illegal search and seizure. Like everything they did was illegal, even having an informant that we paid to come protect us. So a lot of shit, you know, to me, I think it got dropped because at the time we was good friends with Jay-Z, man. You know what I'm saying? He's the fucking president of New York. Let's just keep it real. And I think the relationships and us being with him at the time really helped a lot. That's how I look at it.
Damn. Okay. So what all happened on this tour? You know what I'm saying? I think you mentioned before that, you know, Jay-Z he loaned you guys his stage and
we
kind of really
like the shit that Jay-Z was doing for us was never heard of. You know, he had $1 million stage set up, band, lights, motherfucking explosions, big ass screens. And you know, usually when you have an opening act for your show, they really don't get the whole stage. But at the same time, we came in on the middle of Jay-Z's show. Like Jay-Z would do 4, 5, 6 songs, and then he would go into the song with him and Jeezy, and Jeezy would come up from the middle of the floor of the arena. Right? And that was every night, because that's how Jay-Z set it up for us every night. He set it up like that. He was like, hey, Jeezy, he damn near made Jeezy the headliner with him, if you think about it. Because we had opening acts. I want to say Trey Songz opened up, and some other people was opening up, but then Jay-Z would come and do his show. He'd do like 6 songs, and he'd go into the song where him and Jeezy got together. And then as soon as you hear Jeezy ad-libs, all you see is him coming off the middle of the floor. You feel me? And that was every night for like 40-something days. And we couldn't be late. If we was late one time, the show kept going on without us, and we couldn't perform. We never missed it. And we had lost our whole crew at the first day of the tour. So,
man, it sounds like a legendary tour.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. I think if I would have got locked up, they would have had to end the tour, man. I was a big piece of the puzzle.
Okay, what all were you doing?
Shit.
Tell me about it.
Everything. Anything that had something to do with him. You know what I'm saying? For real.
Keeping everything together?
Shit, hell yeah. Everything. Whatever you could think of, I was keeping it together. Cause if I was doing a lot, man. Like as far as him able to be young Jeezy the superstar, I was helping along for him to do that. I was helping him be a superstar. You know what I'm saying? I was doing shit that he wouldn't have to worry about. You know what I'm saying? Even talking to certain niggas and talking to security, checking security when they not in play, and just basically just having his back. You know what I'm saying? Cause I was always a thinker. I was always ahead of my time when it came to certain shit. And that's why he kept me alone so long. You feel me? He didn't keep me around because I was a yes man or a do boy. He kept me around because I could think for myself. I can make an executive decision without him being there, and it's going to be a right one. You feel me? Because I knew what he wanted. You know what I'm saying? I knew what he needed. You know, a lot of times on tours, I was the stylist. You feel me? I was the nigga putting the clothes together. I was the nigga going to shop. and find clothes and for him to wear and all this. And now you see, soon as I left, he had the BET Awards in a leather vest with no shirt. You know what I'm saying? I would never wore that shit.
Also, everybody's locked up too, so he has a lot less help.
Not, you can say that, but a lot of people was just around. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say they were just around, but a lot of people was just really entourage. You know what I'm saying? Or security. Other than that, nobody really had no job title unless they was security or something. Other than that, it was just homeboy shit, nigga shit. You know what I'm saying?
When you have a big entourage like that, like you guys had, do these guys get paid any money, or is their payment like you're getting free hotels and you get to party for free and you get to have a good time for free?
No, not really. It is like that with certain people, but if you're really part of a crew like that, it's certain benefits that you get. You know what I'm saying? Cause everybody plays a role. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was a nigga that made sure that the crew ate, or certain niggas that made sure that our cars was in the front when it was supposed to be, or make sure they had everybody together. We moving at 2:30, have everybody together. But see, everything I'm talking about is everything I was doing. So it's all depending on what boss you got. If your boss is putting you in position and not just making you the entourage, then yeah, you're gonna get certain benefits from it and certain perks. But if you got a boss that is just looking at you like you just said, oh, you around, I'm giving you free hotels, you eating free, you traveling the world for free, that's all you should need. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of how Jeezy was. You know what I'm saying? You had to be really, I don't know what to say. He had to really see in his eyes that you really doing a job and you just not hanging around smoking and drinking all the time. You feel me? Because if he see you, because Jeezy used to watch everything, if he see you just always partying, that's what he'll put you at, the party guy. You feel me? We about to go out, call him. You know what I'm saying? Because it was a lot of security guards that I used to tell, like, hey, it was a lot, because at first our security was homeboys. You feel what I'm saying? Wasn't none of our security real security. These was all homeboys, ex-prison niggas that was cut up, and you know what I'm saying? So at that time, they was getting paid though, but it's like we had real ex-criminals as security guards. So I used to have to tell them, cause you know, they really wasn't security, so they'd get caught up in the whole vibe and the whole situation that's going on, and you will look up and they supposed to be security, but they got a bottle, they got the blunts, they fucking with bitches. So, you know, it was all about the position you put yourself in, because he would let you play yourself out your position. You feel me? That's what he'll do. But as you can see, as everybody know, I never played myself out of no position. I was with the man 14 years. And I got stories of niggas that play themselves out of position all the time. And I used to try to tell them, like, hey, cause you know, Jeezy used to talk to me about a lot. About the niggas, about this nigga, that nigga, how you feel about that, woo woo woo. And I used to relay the message, like, hey, bro, you gotta tighten up. If this is what you want to do and you want to be around, you gotta tighten up. Cause he paying you to be security, but you chilling like you wasn't the homeboys. You with bitches, you smoking blunts, you hitting the bottle, and you drunken at us. How you drunken in the boss? And you supposed to be protecting the boss. So, you know, he looked at shit like that, and a lot of motherfuckers got cut off like that. But other than that, you know, he never paid nobody what they was worth anyway, man. Not from Kinky, not from Carbon, not from the USDA groups. He never gave everybody what they was worth. He gave motherfuckers what he wanted to. and the loyalty and the respect and the love that motherfuckers have for him, they took it because it wasn't about the money. It was a brotherhood. It was a family. You feel me? So, far as that, yeah, it was a lot of people around that wasn't getting no money. Shit, I wasn't getting no money for a while, but shit, it was different for me. I might not have been getting no money, but I had $2,000-$3,000 in cash at my disposal at any time. You feel me? Like I was the nigga that had everything of his: car keys, jewelry, keys to all the houses, garage door openers. I knew where all the money was. That was me. You know what I'm saying? He'd call me, hey, go open the safe up, get such and such out, take it over to what's her name. That was me. You feel me? Codes to the safes and shit.
It's a lot of responsibility.
Yeah, but not really. Yeah, but not really. It was, but it wasn't. I think I was built for it, so it really didn't stress me out of nothing. And plus, I don't see where I could have stressed out at, because it was something I've been wanting to do since growing up, watching Coach K. You gotta think about it, looking on MTV and BET and seeing all these rappers and wanting to be like that and be in that lifestyle, and all of a sudden you in it. It's nothing bad I can say about it. It was all a blessing. It was something in my life that I wanted to experience, and I manifested it and I experienced it.
One of the things that I haven't heard too many people talk about, I might have just heard it mentioned here and there, is that there was actually some issues between Jeezy and Pimp C.
Oh yeah, the Pimp C beef. Yeah. And you gotta understand, we looked up to Pimp C, man. I love Pimp C still to this day. UGK is one of the best groups ever. So that beef was kind of confusing, and because you gotta understand, we was always friends with Bun B. You know what I'm saying? Bun B was on we getting money over here. You see what I'm saying? And Pimp C was locked up when we first met Bun B, I think. So once Bun B got out and him and Jeezy started kicking it with Bun B, because I remember Pimp C and Bun B brought Jeezy out at the Ozone Awards in Atlanta. And matter of fact, at the Ozone Award, we was like 200-300 deep, just us, CTE. We took up the whole arena left side with all the niggas that we brought with us, no cap. And we performed with Bun B and them that year, and Pimp C. But the beef with Pimp C came when some way Pimp C wanted to get a song, and some way, somehow, they try to charge Pimp C for the song, right? And because Pimp C didn't even have Jeezy's number. He had Coach K's number. So that was another thing that was the problem too with Pimp C. He was like, damn, niggas supposed to be real niggas. I ain't even got the nigga real number. He got me talking to his manager. And they trying to charge me for a song. So Pimp C didn't like that. You feel what I'm saying? And that's where the shit came from. And then he started talking about certain stuff like Pimp C. Calling himself Mr. 17.5. He ain't never got shit for 17.5. That nigga lying. You know, he was saying all that. But at the same time, we look up to them, so we was sitting back like, damn, for real? So now we got a beef with this nigga? But Jeezy never said nothing. You know what I'm saying? He said something on that one song. At the midst of the beef, we had a concert in Houston, Texas. Me, Jeezy, one security guard, and the assistant came. It's just 4 of us. It was supposed to be the whole crew, but I don't know what happened. It ended up just being me and Jeezy. Me, Jeezy, and probably 10 guns. We had 10 guns in the middle of the Escalade floor laid out, going to do the concert, right? Like, no lie. So We sitting out back in the Escalades. We just see like 100 niggas walking up. It's Jay Prince and all them, Pimp C, everybody. They at the back door. They walk past our trucks, go to the back door. So me and Jeezy sitting in the car, we like, shit, whatever happened. So, no lie, I tell Jeezy, I think I grabbed 2 Glocks, or they might have been Smith and Wessons, whatever. I grabbed 2 of them, put them in my pants. And at the time, I got a CTE shirt on, and I got my big CTE chain. Like, no lie, I tell Jeezy, well, shit, if they gonna do something, they gonna do something when they see us. So I'm gonna go ahead and jump out the car and check the temperature. So I jump out the Escalade right in front of them, CTE'd up. They look back, everybody looking back, and then here come the owner of the club. He come to the car, and he tell Jeezy, like, hey, Jay Prince and Pimp C and them, they got 100 people right here, man. They want to come in. And Jeezy was like, well, let them in, nigga. They coming for the show, let them in. What's the problem? Like, whatever y'all think it is, it ain't. Cause we really ain't got no problem with Pimp C. We love them niggas. So, but he has been talking. So, no lie, we get in the club, we don't know what this shit about to be like. Nigga, we get in the club, it's nothing but Spanish folks, man. Nothing but Spanish people. And they are going crazy, man. I'm talking about the whole club is Mexicans. The whole club. Nigga, Jeezy get on stage, they throwing crack, they throwing weed, they throwing cell phones, throwing wads of money on stage, and we're kicking the shit off of the stage. Like, this is a true story. We're kicking the shit back off the stage. Somebody threw money. We found out who money it was, gave it back to them. They throwing flip phones. Like, it was crazy, man. And they was going bananas, Cam. Like, you would have thought, what's her name? I can't think of the Spanish girl, the Spanish singer name that passed away. I can't think of her name. But anyway, you would have thought it was some shit going on, how they was acting in there. And then, in the middle of the song, Jeezy dropped the beat. And he gave Pimp C what he wanted. 17.5, yeah, nigga, I said it. 17.5, yeah, nigga, I meant it. And the shit went crazy, man. But we never had an altercation with them. It was just words back and forth through whatever that was going on, through interviews or whatever, but we never had no altercations with them, because for one, we had too much respect for Bun B. And we had too much respect for Pimp C. Like, you grew up on these niggas. So it's hard to beef with somebody like that. It just be confusing to you, like, damn, why? But we all know why. He tried to make Pimp C pay for a song, and that's true facts.
So wait, when you mentioned he said that on stage, was that supposed to be like the Pimp C diss?
It wasn't the Pimp C diss, but what Pimp C was saying about he ain't never got shit for 17.5 and all that, you gotta understand, it was more people before Pimp C that was saying that. So by us already having that song and that verse, it already counterattacked what Pimp C was saying. So if we didn't have to do no diss song, we already had a song out that explained that other people were saying that before him. You know what I'm saying? Like, what he calling himself 17.5 for? He ain't nigga wasn't getting no shit for no 17.5 and woo 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 woo. So when Pimp said it, it was just like the perfect song, because we already then talked about it. So he never made no diss song on Pimp C. Never.
Did you guys talk to Pimp C or Jay Prince that night?
Pimp C was trying to get in touch with Jeezy before he died, but he ended up passing away. Rest in peace, Pimp C. But it was over with before he died. It was squashed. Cause I think, Pimp C had knew Meech and them too, somewhat. You feel me? So, and Pimp C knew people. So I guess Pimp C had talked to people, did some homework, and they was like, nah, bro, like, nah, Jeezy the real deal. If Jeezy said it, that's what it is, bro. Like, and anybody that was around would be like, Nah, for real, like, nah, your man, nah, he a real one. Like, nah, he really doing it like that. So I think once Pimp C did his homework and he realized that maybe I was tripping, but maybe he wasn't tripping because, you know, I feel him on that. Somebody like Pimp C, you and Jeezy should have the same phone number. You shouldn't be talking to his manager. You feel me? So he felt the way because Pimp C was a boss, Jeezy was a boss. So he felt, you know, two bosses had a disagreement, but it didn't escalate to nothing. That shit was nothing.
And you guys didn't talk to him that night at the club or anything?
We ain't talked to him. No, we was on military time at the club. We wouldn't want to talk to nobody because you know it's too many. For one, they had too many niggas. You feel me? And it was only 4 of us, and only 2 of us gonna shoot, me and Jeezy. So ain't no talking, cause one wrong word is gonna go down. So y'all might well just go in there and enjoy the show, and nigga talk later.
For sure, man. Well, what about Jay Prince? Did you guys ever hang out with Jay Prince or see him around or anything?
No, not me. Like when we was in Houston, I never really seen Jay Prince. You know what I'm saying? Not me. Like he never like they. You might have seen Jay Prince Jr. sometimes, but not like that. You gotta understand. Like I don't even know how old them guys are, but you gotta think about it. We was running around in Houston in 05, 06, 07, 08. Like them guys might have been teenagers or something. You feel me? Like so, but Jay Prince was who he was. But like far as the Jay Prince Jr. and all them, they probably was kids back then. Like I don't know how old he is, but I'm just saying, like, and you gotta understand, we was a motherfucker couldn't press our line. Like we wasn't going for it. Like we came in the game standing on something. Like we never went to LA and had a problem. We never went to LA and had to check in. We never went nowhere had to check in. Cause for one, we knew all the thorough niggas from the town anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, you know, being that Jeezy was this, you know, known person or affiliated with the Crips pretty heavy, did you guys ever have any issues while you were out on the road with like any Bloods or
Yeah,
anybody?
we had an issue in Shreveport, Louisiana. We went down there to do a show, and we ended up going somebody booked us for an after party. So when we go to the after party, we walk in, the whole club is full of Bloods. Everybody got on red. Even the lights are red. The tables are red, the chairs are red, but we got on all Crip blue. Everybody with us. But we did pull up on a red bus. But everybody with us got on Crip blue, and we walk in the club. And when we walk in the club, we see it. We like, damn, you know, we own it. We deep too. We got nothing but motherfucking head busters with us and motherfucking iron slangers. We got the whole Univille with us at this time. So we in there. And they performing. The Blood niggas. So after they perform, shit, we decided to go over and take the stage and perform. So my homie Luke Ruger performed from Locust Lifestyle back then. He was signed to us, whatever. And they performed and whatnot. But after they performed, we got off the stage. And then we got back to our section. We was like, everybody stay in the facility of us. Cause these niggas gonna try something. We just came to their club. We showed out on their stage. We got they bitches over here with us now. Woo, woo, woo. So one of the homeboys decided to go out into the crowd and just dance or something. So I go out there with him. So when I go out there with him, we chilling. Some more homies come out there. Next thing we know, somebody come from the back and smack him in the head with a bottle. Boom. So as they smack him in the head with a bottle, we turn around, we see the niggas, so we started scuffling with the niggas. I grabbed one of the niggas and I think I slammed him on the ground And then, but at the same time, everybody that is on my homeboy's back that got hit with the bottle, because when he got hit with the bottle, he went down. And the nigga that hit him with the bottle was right behind him, and I had caught him, and then they flipped him over. But at that time, everybody is trying to get to the nigga that hit him with the bottle. So they all on top of my homeboy. So my one homeboy that got hit with the bottle, he pulls out his gun, just start busting. Because he don't know what's going on. He just knows a bunch of people on his back. And he just got hit with a bottle. So he pulled out and just started pow, pow, pow. So at that time, we think it's them shooting. So another one of my homeboys pull out and he just start going John Wick in the club. I'm talking about everybody in red is against the wall of the back of the club, and my homeboys just bah, 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 bah. And we trying to pull my homeboy out the club to get him to start shooting. He's still shooting as we pulling him out the club. Like out the door. And we get out the door, and there's niggas outside talking shit. So when we got out the door, niggas put the guns up, niggas is running to cars, and then some more niggas outside talking shit. So another one of the homies knocked out 2 niggas outside and they bitches. I'm talking about the homie by himself. Boop, 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 knocked him out. So we jumping in the truck, and as we jumping in the truck, it's like 2 AKs in the back of the truck. We got guns on us. The police chased the truck down on horses and made the horse jump on the hood of the truck down there, nigga. So when they did that, a few of the homies jumps out and run. They getting it. But you gotta think about it. We in Shreveport, Louisiana. This ain't where we from. I can't get out the truck, and another one of the homies with me can't get out the truck because we in the back where ain't no doors. Either we going out the hatch in the back or we climbing over the seat. But about time that happened, the police is on the car too much, so me and the homie we stuck in the back of the car. So when they pull us out, thank God to the homies that ran. When they ran, they had took our guns and ran with our guns too. So when the police pull us out, you know, they try to figure out what's going on. There's people knocked out. But thank you from the grace of God, from my homeboy shooting in the crowd of all the people, nobody was hit. Right? So, and even with that case, that shit was beat and dropped probably like months and months later after our homeboy sat in there. After our homeboy that was shooting sat in that motherfucker. And that's another thing why I be on Jeezy's ass, because he didn't bail the nigga out or nothing after all that shit. The homie family had to put houses and shit up to get him out. You know what I'm saying? And that's another flawed thing that I don't like. You know, it was just a lot of sucker shit that went on. But after that, me and the one homie was in the back of the truck. We was in interrogation probably for like, I want to say probably like 5 hours, and they let us go. They were just trying to figure out what was going on and shit, but didn't nobody get hit. It was just gunfire. Woo, woo, woo. So on the way back to the hotel, I called Jeezy, like, yeah, they let us go. We on the way back to the hotel. So Jeezy like, don't go to that hotel. We already switched hotels. We left there, and now we at the Intercontinental downtown. Because he says it's about 40 Bloods outside the hotel looking for us. So when we pull up in the taxi, we see all the Bloods in front of the hotel. We ducked down in the taxi and told the driver to go around the back to the back of the hotel. And we walked in the back of the hotel, went up and got our shit out the room, walked back down the back door and went to the other hotel. So we made it out of there safe, but that was only the one time that we really got into it with some Bloods. Because at the end of the day, everybody loved us. They really loved us too. It was just that I guess we stepped on their toes in their club, in their city. We took their bitches. We got on stage disrespecting. So they did what they did, but we did what we did. Everybody made it out of there safe. Certain people had to sit in jail for months and probably a year, but they ended up beating and coming home. So
I also seen that you guys went on tour with Lil Wayne.
Yeah, that was the I can't remember what tour it was, but we went on tour with Wayne probably two times, maybe 2 or 3 times. Like if I really can remember, cause the first tour we did, it was all amphitheaters, like outside theaters. We did that tour, and then we did another tour that was all stadiums. I can't really remember, but yeah, that the tour with Wayne when we did all the outside arenas, that shit was amazing. We was on tour, everybody was there, Nicki, Drake, who everybody, Tiger, because he had everybody sign the Young Money back then. So everybody was there. Birdman then was there, and they had real gang members too, but we had real gang members on tour with us. Like these niggas wake up in the morning to put blue rags on their head and go outside and show everybody, yeah, we banging over here. But it really wasn't no problem. It really was fun. We had a few times niggas went on the bus with Birdman and was shooting dice and shit. And that was a fun time. I can't lie. The Wayne tour was fun.
Now, I seen at one point there was some issues with DJ Drama, and I think we kind of touched on this a little bit in the last interview.
Yeah, the DJ Drama shit really came from him with Gucci, and Jeezy didn't like it. So it was a green light put on him. But they end up they end up putting their hands, they end up sucker punching one of my homeboys from the back at the Dirty Awards. And that's when shit escalated. Cause once they did that, when they did that, we was gone. Like most of the crew and Jeezy, we was all gone on tour. It wasn't even no tour. It was like something that we was doing. We was gone. But we had got the word that that shit that happened. So we came back in town. And when we came back in town, it was up. We met up. Matter of fact, at the same time, we was on tour with T.I. and them, and Drama was his DJ. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it's the America Most Wanted tour. It was one of them tours. And then they did that shit to our homeboy. We ended up coming back in the city. He had a studio over off of Peter Street. We kicked the door in, chased some niggas out the back, tore that motherfucker up, because we couldn't find him. So after that, we back on tour. We go to T.I.'s dressing room, probably like 50 deep, looking for DJ Drama. We didn't want nobody but Drama because that was his DJ at the time. So after that, we got in there and Drama wasn't there. T.I. had kicked Drama off the tour. Well, I ain't gonna say kick. I guess they had a conversation and it was like, I guess T.I. probably told Drama the best thing for you to do is just get off this tour. Because anybody that knew us, we was gonna be on his ass. He wasn't gonna have no safe tour. Because they had put their hands on our homeboy. So after that shit happened, we didn't see him for a while. We end up, and he had a manager at the time, LA the Dark Man or something, that was dissing us. And he was putting the battery in Drama's back or whatever he was doing. But we fucked around and caught him at Club Miami. And one of my big homies whooped his ass all the way in the corner and drug him out the club. Matter of fact, we gave him to the police after we beat him. Because it happened at a club that was down at our club, but our homie, Lil Daddy, Marlon, he owned a club called Club Miami. And that was like our backyard and our front yard. That was our kitchen, our living room, and everybody knew if you wanted to get with Jeezy and his crew, y'all can catch him at Club Miami. You know what I'm saying? That was like our stomping ground. That was like our safe haven. So he came in there one day and thought he was safe. Maybe he didn't know we was in there because he didn't even get in the door good. Like, as soon as he came in the first part of the club, our people seen him. And I no lie, our big homie, got down like a midget. No lie, and walked to him. He didn't even see him coming. By the time he seen my homie was in his face, giving it to him, dragging him. So after that, we did that. Everybody gonna say he keeps saying we, but he ain't throw a punch. I didn't have to. I just want to make that clear. So after that, we get a call at the Biggie Smalls movie premiere in Atlanta. It was a Biggie Smalls movie premiere, and we get a call from our people like, hey, boy, you know Drama and they whole crew up here. And we like, oh, they are? So we start making calls. In a matter of 3 minutes, a crew was put together and they was on their way up there. And then they got in there. Soon as they got in there, they seen him. Drama and his whole crew, they tried to run. The homies caught Drama, started beating him, tried to take his chain, but he wouldn't let go of it. You know what I'm saying? And then they chased his crew down, but his crew left him. And then after they beat him and shit, you know, they got up out of there. And then after that, we got into it with him again at the Lucky Lounge. My homie and them was getting on their ass again. And they fucked around. One of the niggas they was getting on his ass around and had a razor blade in his hand and sliced my homeboy's face. And then we end up chasing them niggas after the club. No lie, we pushed the police down to chase these niggas. Them niggas was gone, but we got down on them. You know what I'm saying? We got down on them.
You guys have been on tour with Jay-Z. You guys got this great relationship with Jay-Z and everybody. But at one point, Jeezy left Rock Nation.
Yeah, he left Rock Nation after we did the tour with Wiz Khalifa. Cause we went on tour with Wiz Khalifa. It was Under the Influence tour. And Jeezy didn't like that he was opening it up for Wiz. You feel me? He didn't like that. And that's where that problem came in at. It really wasn't a problem. He just decided to go his own way after the tour. But you gotta understand that tour is the same tour that he got locked up in LA. You feel me? So that was the same tour. But the tour, he was already talking shit because he was opening up for Wiz, and he didn't understand why he's opening up for Wiz. But anybody that supposed to know the music business supposed to know, like, Wiz Khalifa is a touring artist. You feel me? He was touring three times, 4 times a year. You feel me? So by Jay-Z and Rock Nation putting you on that tour with him, they were trying to turn you into a tour artist, an artist that goes on tour a lot. You feel me? Cause right to this day, Wiz Khalifa is still doing them tours like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause that fan base. So that what they was trying to do to Jeezy, but he felt like they was trying to little boy him. So he, they went their separate ways. But all you gotta do is do the timeline and look at that shit. When last time somebody seen Jeezy with Jay-Z? When last time you seen Jeezy at one of the Rock Nation brunches or anywhere? You know what I'm saying? Cause I understand. Cause Jay-Z was fucking with us. Like, that nigga was fucking with us hard. Doing any song that we wanted him on, bringing us on his tour, and then signing us to Rock Nation. He was trying to do for Jeezy what he did for Gotti. You feel me?
I seen at one point that somebody leaked Jeezy's album.
Yep, it was a guy that worked at Patchwork Studios in Atlanta. And we had just turned the album in to get mastered and get mixed by Leslie. So we get a call, because me and Jeezy is living together at the time. So we get a call, I want to say from Carbon or from Kinky B, that the album is out. The album is out. So, and somebody just told us that they just seen the guy who works at Patchworks in the car with Gucci Man at 7 or 8 in the morning, right? Because that's the call that we get. So Carbon and I think Kink, they go up to Patchworks and they find the nigga. And the nigga out there. So, but at this time, me and Jeezy is on our way, because Jeezy woke me up and was like, hey, grab the keys to the Porsche truck, grab the AK, come on. So I'm like, I ain't know what was going on at first. So when we get into the Porsche truck, he was like, man, nigga done leaked our album, my nigga. A nigga done leaked our shit. Man, this shit probably done fucked up our life. We probably gonna have the motherfucker stay in the streets. You know what I'm saying? This is how he talking to me. Like nigga that fucked up our life. This nigga that fucked us over. Nigga that leaked our album. You know, back then leaking the album and bootlegging was big. You know, we went on some. I ain't even talked about how we went bootleg bashing. You know what I'm saying? But we had caught the nigga. So me and Jeezy pulled up to the Porsche in the Porsche truck. Before I can even put the Porsche truck in park, Jeezy jumps out with his gun, going towards the nigga with it pointed at him, about to shoot. My homeboy Carbon 15 grabs the gun and grabs his arm. And like, hell no, we can't kill this nigga. So when he do that, Jeezy punched the nigga. So when Jeezy punched the nigga, me and my other homies started punching the nigga too, punishing him. So he tried to run into the building of Patchworks, but when he tried to run after he get up after we beating him, the people that work at the studio, they opened the door for him and try to pull him in. So we're playing tug of war with him. At the same time, still punching him. You know what I'm saying? So, and you know, he sued Jeezy after that, and Jeezy had to pay him too. So, right. And I remember after Jeezy sued him and paid him, Jeezy said then too, hey, if we ever see that nigga, we green lighting his ass again. Motherfucker leaked my album.
What was Patchworks? Was that like a CD spot?
No, Patchwork Studios. That's the famous studio in Atlanta where everybody records at. It's called Patchwork. Everybody records there. It's right there off of Northside Drive and 14th Street. I don't know if you're familiar with Atlanta, right behind the McDonald's. That's where that studio's at. Everybody uses that studio. That's like everybody, bro. Like everybody. That's the main studio where all the big artists want to come and work. It's a guy named Kirk that runs it. And he never, in this studio, you can't even smoke weed. Nobody. I'm talking about not even Snoop Dogg. Like they didn't play, at this studio, they didn't play that shit. If you smoke weed, that shit was the last time you ever came in that motherfucker.
Okay, and you guys seen him hanging out with Gucci? Do you guys think his relationship with Gucci has something to do with the leaking?
Who, the guy?
Yeah,
because the guy, he always, like, because you got to understand, Gucci Mane used that studio too, right? But they never booked us together because everybody in the city knew what was going on. So, no lie, when we used to come to the studio, people used to tell us, like, you know, boy, Gucci Mane pulled up today playing y'all music. He wasn't playing nothing but Jeezy shit. And we was like, you know, it was kind of weird, but we was like, niggas a fan, you feel me? And niggas used to tell us he would be in the studio and be staring at Jeezy's platinum plaque for at least 20 minutes. Just standing there like, you know, they used to tell us that shit. But, you know, at the time, he wasn't taking his medicine because he was kind of slow. So we understood what was going on, but.
Damn. Okay. You mentioned going bootleg bashing.
Oh, yeah, man. You got to understand. Bootlegging was crazy. Them fucking Africans had that shit on smash. Like, we would run into places looking for the bootleg and shit, and we know it's in here, but we can't find it. Some motherfuckers will call us, be like, hey, they selling y'all album over here, or they selling it over here. But every time we walked in, the Africans would have a secret room that didn't look like it was a room. We would have to go and push the walls in, and when you push the walls in, it was like Walmart or CDs. And no lie, they had Thug Motivation 101 stacked up this tall, lined up from the front to the back. And they was selling them. And we went in there and crushed them all, kicked down doors, broke CDs, crashing CDs. We went bootleg bashing. And whenever we found a bootlegger, we was fucking them up. Because you got to understand, we was not knowing that the bootlegging shit probably helped us, because when you bought the bootleg back then, you really wanted to go get the real CD too. You feel me? So it really helped us more than it hurt us in my eyes, because it didn't stop our numbers. We was doing like what, 250, 300 a week when TM 101 came out.
Damn, it's crazy. Okay, now one of the things that made some headlines not too long ago was when Southwest T got out of jail. 50 Cent kind of jumped on Instagram and said that Jeezy owed him some money.
I think that was just 50 Cent. That was just 50 Cent trolling him. I think, cause he doesn't owe them any money. I know this for a fact. Like he probably met Southwest T twice or 3 times in his whole life. Cause you gotta understand, him and Meech was homeboys. And I keep on saying it that Meech and BMF gave no money towards Jeezy and the CTE movement. Nothing. They didn't pay for no studio time, no promo, no videos, no jewelry, none of that shit. Jeezy was not a BMF artist. Only artist on BMF was Blue Da Vinci.
Why do you think 50 Cent was just trolling him? Do him and Jeezy not really get along?
I really couldn't say if him and Jeezy didn't get along, but I never knew of no past issue with him and 50, except for this time when he said that about Southwest T. That's the only time I really heard about a situation with him and 50. But 50 and Jeezy, they have a mutual friend that works for 50 Cent. So if 50 Cent don't like Jeezy, I'm sure it's for something that the guy that they both friends with has told 50. So
do you think that Jeezy's character should be in the BMF show? Do you think, was he important enough to make it as part of the BMF show?
Oh, yeah, of course. You gotta, if like he said, him and Meech was friends, right? And you gotta understand, we put Meech in 3 different videos, worldwide videos. You feel me? Soul Survivor, Air Forces, Getting Money Over Here. So you got to tell that with the story. And you got to tell the story that him and Jeezy was friends. And even if they do, cause they can show Meech in the club without anybody performing and still get what they trying to get out of the movie. You feel me? So at the end of the day, if they don't use Jeezy's character in the film, it's still gonna be what the film is gonna be because it's about Meech and BMF. And Jeezy wasn't part of BMF. He just got some history with him. But if 50 Cent wants to make the BMF movie bigger than as it is, you got to put that in there. You can't leave out Jeezy. You can't leave out Fabulous. You can't leave out Diddy. You can't leave out none of that shit because Meech interacted with all them people that what made him bigger than life is the stars being around him.
Now, I've seen them say that Meech was paying for Jeezy's music to get played in the clubs.
Man, hell no. If he did do that, he did it out of something that he wanted to do. It ain't like Jeezy came to him and was like, hey, pay the DJ to play this. Cause Jeezy had his own money. Jeezy had his own motion. So, and in Atlanta, if your music is hot, it only takes one time to play it, and they playing it from now on. And really, if you want to get your music played in a club in Atlanta back then, you had some of the main strippers that dance to your songs. You know what I'm saying? Like when they was doing they set, they want certain songs to play. Play that Jeezy, play this, play that, cause that's how they make their money. And people gonna turn up when they hear it. But my whole thing is, if he paid for Jeezy music to get on, of course he paid for Blue Da Vinci music to get played. But far as Blue Da Vinci music, you had to pay to play that shit every time because it just wasn't nothing somebody wanted to play. So you had to break bread every time to play his music. But once you played Jeezy shit one time, you was gonna play it over and over again because that shit was slapping.
This takes us to the verses. So Jeezy, Gucci, they've had this big beef, long-lasting beef for at that point was like probably 15 years strong. We've heard about this. We've heard the diss records, we've heard the stories, and now we get this verses. And, it was real controversial verses, mainly because of the Gucci Man line where he did his song The Truth, where he dissed Pookie Loke in the song.
Rest in
how'd
peace.
You feel about all that?
And rest in peace, Pookie Loke. For real.
For sure. Rest in peace.
I mean, I was hurt. I was disappointed. I don't know. It was like somebody just stabbed you in your back for everything that we stood for and everything that we did and everything that we pressed lines about. He took all that shit away in one day to do a verses. For one, when he started to do, before the verses even happened, I knew that he was doing the verses. Me, myself, I couldn't understand why he just didn't do it with T.I. You feel me? But you let him tell it he did it with Gucci because he wanted to squash the long beef or whatever, but it backfired on him. For one, in my eyes, he didn't want to do it with T.I. because he knew T.I. had songs that could stand up to his. Because you got to understand, T.I. had platinum hits too and radio hits too. So Gucci Man never had no real platinum records, no platinum albums. So going up against what Jeezy had going, Gucci couldn't do nothing with I Get a Lot of That and Soul Survivor and Dreaming and just period. Thug Motivation, Gucci Man had nothing to add up to none of them songs on Thug Motivation. So he had to do the verses and do the diss shit to make it even worth watching. But me, myself, ever since I heard that he was doing the verses with Gucci, I've been plotting. I was plotting on when I was gonna come out and tell my truth and have a what I want to say. I wanted to give a voice for everybody that didn't have a voice, that stood behind this CTE shit and was willing to die behind it for him to come back and do that 15 years later. That shit was just, it was heartbreaking.
Would it have been different if Gucci didn't diss Pookie Loke during the verses?
Yeah. In my eyes, yeah. And with a lot of people's eyes, it would have been different. And a lot of people's eyes, it was like, okay, Jeezy's doing this shit with that nigga. We don't like it, and we feel like it's still a stab in the back, but let him do his thing, cause we don't with him no more. So and for one of the people that was around that know, we been knowing that Jeezy wanted to squash that beef. You know what I'm saying? We been knowing about the secret conversations him and Gucci Man had. You know what I'm saying? Cause we walked in the club one day and it was Kamal 21 and they said Gucci Man was in there. And before we got in there, Jesus was like, hey, we gonna stand down. We ain't doing nothing. We gonna give him a pass right now. We gonna give him a pass. So we gave him a pass, but they happened to walk past us and the nigga and Gucci Man tried to shake Jeezy's hand. And everybody, and Jeezy looked at him up and down, was like, nigga, you know what's up? And Gucci Man and his crew just walked out. But we was already looking funny then, like, damn, we tried to shake the nigga hand. And that's when it came out like a week later that him and Gucci had been having secret conversations and shit. And that's why he tried to shake his hand. Cause me and one of my homeboys had talked about it. Cause I had asked him, I was like, man, you see the fuck boy trying to shake cuz hand? And my nigga was like, boy, I'm gonna let you know something. Nobody know. Him and that nigga been talking secretly together. And that's why he did that. And that's why before we went in, Jeezy said, stand down. You know what I'm saying?
You know what year this was?
Man, I want to say, man, it might have been 13.
Oh, okay.
12, somewhere around that time, 2011, 2013, 12. I want to think, because of Kamal 21, and then they switched it to something else. Yeah, it was about that time. It was probably about 11, 12.
So at this point, all types of wild stuff has happened between you guys' crews, man. Why not just end it?
Why not just end it? I mean, once somebody lose their life, the shit never ends, man. Not in my eyes. When somebody lose their life behind some beef shit, that beef is forever. You know, we might not act on it, or we might not crash out, but I would never fuck with you ever. I would never like your music ever. You know, you do get to an age where you might be like, you know what, man, it's still beef. We might not act on it. Nobody might not get hurt behind it no more, but that don't mean I gotta like you. Just cause we got older and times passed. That means time just passed and we go let's brush that shit off and let it go. But it's back of my head, it's still you, nigga. You know what I'm saying? And I could have never been there for the verses. I'm sorry. If I was still around and he did the verses, I would have left thee on his ass. Like, man, nah, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? Cause no. I hold a alliance with my brothers in Macon, my nigga. Like, I love them niggas to death, and they love me. We lived in the same household together. We ate, sleep, and shit together. We struggled together. So I can never let that shit go. Cause some motherfuckers say it ain't got nothing to do with you. You ain't even from Macon. Nah, but it was my brothers. I lived with them. You know what I'm saying? So I have a bond that never could never be broke. So to me, it's never over. I mean, I guess for Jeezy and them, it's over cause they rich, but it's no way it could be over when he just did that on the verses. After he did that on the verses, the beef is back cracking. That's what Jeezy should have said, but he was too busy trying to own the whole Atlanta when he really only owns 2 properties. You can look it up. It's public records. Nigga don't own shit.
Now, I don't know if you wanted to touch on this, but why did you guys fall out?
Who?
You and Jeezy.
To be honest with you, I woke up one day and just started to look around and see certain shit that I didn't have and certain shit that I should have because I had held him down for so long, and it wasn't just holding him down. I was doing a job every day. Taking care of him every day was a job. You feel what I'm saying? Like nobody will never understand the shit I went through with that man. But at the same time, I had love for him. So I wasn't looking at the shit that I didn't have. Because like I said, he called me his little brother for 10 plus years. He told me for 10 plus years, long as he got, I got. If he rich, I'm rich. I don't whatever I want, he would get for me. Just all I gotta do is ask, or I ain't even gotta ask. He gonna get it done. That's what he told me for 10 plus years. So then one day you wake up and you see none of the shit that he promised has happened, and he keep trying to feed you bullshit, but then he want to try to feed you some other bullshit because he got other plans. So I remember I left after New Year's Eve, Miami, 2016. That was the last time I seen him, New Year's 2016. Cause once we spent New Year's in Miami, it was me, him, his supposed to be wife back then, the African girl named Mai that he had the baby girl by. It was us. It was only us there. Cause like I said at the time, he really had just had the baby girl, his daughter, But you know, and he made me the godfather. You know, we sat outside in a Rolls Royce for 3 days outside the hospital waiting on his daughter to be born. And you know, he told me out of his own mouth that the baby mama, she said, can't nobody be the godfather but Clem. Cause she knew the relationship me and him had. But once all that shit changed after Miami New Year's 2016, I got back home. I got back to Atlanta. I think I stayed in Atlanta for like a week. And after a week, I think I packed up and I came back to Indianapolis. And they was calling my phone. Him and his manager was calling my phone. I didn't answer none of his calls. The manager called my phone from a number I didn't know, so I picked up. But see, I know Jeezy. When I was on the phone with the manager, Jeezy was right there. You know what I'm saying? Cause we used to do shit like that. Hey, call and let me listen to what the nigga's saying. Or let me hear what they talking. You know what I'm saying? So I know that he was right there with the manager. So I didn't give him nothing but hell. When the manager I picked up, it was the manager. I told the manager, fuck you, fuck him, fuck his money. Y'all can stick it up both of y'all faggots' ass and don't fucking call my phone again. And send me my title to my car. Cause Jeezy had the title to my car when I came home. And I told him, I said, man, send me my title to my car. And then next thing I know, probably like 2 months later, the title came. But after that, I didn't talk to him no more. I didn't want to talk to him. What we had has ran its course. And for one, for the shit that me and a lot of people did by holding him down and staying loyal and not doing no snake dirty shit, stealing or none of that, for you not to look out for your real day ones and your real day ones, it was just like, it was over with. I knew where he was at with it. And you gotta understand, I was the last one around, so I seen Kink get cut off. I seen Coach get cut off. I seen Carbon get cut off. I seen everybody get cut off. And then he cut them off the shit that he was doing. Nobody got cut off of what the shit that they did. Cause nobody never did nothing but hold it down and keep it 100 with him and push that CTE and Jeezy shit all the way to the fullest. So that's something else I want to get clear. Anybody that was with CTE and not with CTE no more, it's because of what Jeezy did. They didn't do shit.
Did he see this coming? Like, did you guys have conversations or anything?
We didn't have conversations, but if you know Jeezy, like I know Jeezy and Kink know Jeezy and Carbon know Jeezy, you already knew what his plan. Like after a while, you knew what his plan was. He only needed you for as long as he needed you. Once he was in that door, he didn't really. I think he thought. Well, he didn't think because he did. Once he got his foot in that door and was in there with them people, in his head, I didn't need no manager. You know what I'm saying? In his head, I didn't need no vice president of CTE. I could do it all myself. You feel me? Cause once he got in there and started doing shit, that's when he got rid of Coach. After he got rid of Coach K, you can't name a Jeezy's manager. To be honest with you, you can't. He was making everybody his manager. He's making folks that work in the office at Def Jam his manager. He was just making anybody his manager for fun. That's what the shit was so crazy.
Damn. Okay. I think I seen you say somewhere that Jeezy doesn't own CTE anymore.
Yep, that's the word I got. And I got that from somebody that would know. He doesn't own Corporate Thugs Entertainment no more. He might own Corporate Thugs. It's like if you ever watch it, he always changes the CTE, whatever comes after it. Because at first it was CTE for life. Then it was CTE World. And then it was CTE for life. And then he changed the CTE The World. You know what I'm saying? Like, however he keep changing it, from my big homie told me that he doesn't own CTE anymore.
Is he selling it and then starting it again, or do you know?
I mean, that's my whole thing. I don't even know. That's the word I got. I don't know if it's true, but I don't see anybody. I mean, even if he did own CTE still, what does he have? What artist does he have on CTE? He is nobody signed. If anybody go look up CTE artist, who is it? It's nobody. He signed one guy like months ago or something named Haitian Baby. I ain't never heard of it. I don't know who he is. I guess he's from LA, but come on, man. Anybody that signed to Jeezy at this time and date, they desperate. Because there's no way with his track record, there's no way I would go sign to him.
And I know Freddie Gibbs signed with him at one point.
Yeah, Freddie Gibbs signed with us. Yeah, me and Freddie Gibbs was on tour together for a minute with Jeezy. Cause you know he went on tour with Jeezy and he was opening up. But you gotta understand, it was just me and Freddie Gibbs spent the whole tour together, just me and him. And I always fucked with Freddie because we both was from Indiana. You feel me? So that's why I always fuck with Freddie Gibbs. But certain shit happened. But like he know Jeezy flawed too. He know Jeezy did fuck shit. And even the nigga, cause it wasn't even because you know the whole reason we got Freddie Gibbs was because of Carbon 15. Carbon 15, goddamn, he discovers Freddie Gibbs. He brought Freddie Gibbs to CTE to Jeezy's table. And Jeezy liked it and jumped on it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if your boss doesn't know how to push an artist or get an artist off of his feet, it's not gonna happen. If he's not willing to sit in the back seat and let you drive for a while, it's not gonna happen. And that's one thing with Jeezy. He's not gonna play the back seat. He's gonna be in the front seat. He's gonna put you in the back and he's gonna drive. And if you happen to catch a buzz on his coattail, well, that's what it is. But if you catch a buzz, he's gonna cut the coat off and you're gonna fall. And that's what he did to USDA. Cause USDA sold 500,000+ records with no promotion or nothing. No tour or nothing. If they would have went on tour, USDA probably would have went platinum, just like G-Unit did with 50. They sold records, but when they went on them tours with him, they album sales went up more, just off of the buzz. But Jeezy did one tour date with USDA, and then after that tour date, he went to Kinky B and told Kinky B that he didn't want to do no more tours with them. He could do the tour by himself. But the tour was made up for Jeezy presents USDA. But he didn't want to go on tour with him. Because you just think about a 30-day tour, and let's just say a 30-day tour, and him and Blood Raw and Slick got $10,000 a piece for each show. A 30-day tour, they would have came home with $300. But we had a boss that wasn't for that shit. He wanted all the money for himself, and that's what he did. He went on tour by himself. He cut them niggas off, and that's what it was.
Damn. How did you guys feel when Rick Ross did the BMF song?
To be honest with you, we didn't feel no way. Jeezy felt the way. Obviously, everybody can see that. But as far as the crew, like, we didn't feel no way. We just thought it was another song, but Jeezy thought the nigga was trying him. I mean, he was, though. But at the end of the day, it didn't matter what Rick Ross said. Like, because Jeezy wasn't BMF. He was CTE. He was just friends with Meech. Jeezy never had a BMF chain. He never had a BMF tattoo. And if he did wear a BMF jersey, it had CTE on it too. Like, so he was just showing love to Meech. But when Rick Ross did that, I think, Jeezy felt like he was taking shots. And the thing about it, we had a song already called BMF anyway, Blowing Money Fast. We already had a song. So when Rick Ross came and did that song, it was just like, hold up, did somebody tell this nigga about this from Def Jam? And he went and didn't nobody know what was going on, but that beef, the Rick Ross and his beef was really just one of the stupidest beefs ever. They were just stupid. Both of the beef was stupid. And didn't nothing really. Only thing really happened behind that beef is Dread snatched Rick Ross chains at the BET Awards, at the Hip Hop Awards. At the same time, Dread was snatching his chains. Gunplay was getting his chain took outside by 50 Cent in them. You know what I'm saying? And I would have to say Rick Ross is probably the only guy that ever recovered from his chains getting snatched. But you got to understand, back then, you know, it was different. And them motherfuckers was fake anyway, so it really didn't matter. But that beef was stupid, and it escalated cause that the one Maybach music artist nigga, he got his ass beat in New York in the club behind the beef. And shit, after that shit really died down cause we had went to after that shit, we had went to some parties that Rick Ross was at. So him and Jeezy really had squashed the beef. But then it was crazy because they squashed the beef, but Jeezy, the niggas that beat up Rick Ross artists and snatched his chains, you still got him on security duty. So you got to understand how the security feel when we going to Rick Ross's house for a party or something, and he got to do security. You feel me? Like for real, that shit was crazy. Cause he used to tell me that cause I still talk to Dredd. He used to tell me back after the shit happened, he was like, man, all the shit that we did, and he want to bring us around these niggas, even in LA, some shit that went down in LA. And then we end up being cool with the niggas after the shit happened, but the nigga that had the situation is still with us because he's security. So they looking at him funny, looking at us funny. So the security nigga really scared and trying to protect his life at the same time, but it really wasn't nothing. All of it was bullshit.
You know what's crazy about the chain situation is maybe I missed it, but I don't ever remember hearing about it getting stolen until talking to Dredd.
Right, but see, because of course Rick Ross wasn't gonna put it out. Cause think about it, that was always a no-no to a rap artist. You feel me? Getting your chain took, that was a no-no. So, and you gotta understand the BET Awards, I don't even think it was social media was that big. It was big, but it wasn't like all the rappers was on it. You feel me? So when that shit happened, and plus it was backstage around all the big wigs, it wasn't really around nobody in the audience, and it was behind the stage. And everything happened so quickly, nobody really never knew that he took the chains. And for one, only people that knew was the crews. Other than that, we never told anybody else outside of another that we took nothing. But if you watch the video of the shit happening backstage, you can hear Rick Ross screaming. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? Cause he wanted them chains, but my nigga had already pocketed them motherfuckers. And then we ended up meeting up at Ocean Prime, and that's when he showed us he had the chains. Yep.
Yeah, they're crazy, man. Jeezy also linked up with YG at one point.
Yeah, cause you know YG was signed to Def Jam. And you gotta understand, everybody think YG was CTE. YG was not CTE. Jeezy was just executive producer of his album. And you gotta understand, YG already had the West Coast on buzz. You feel me? So they had to find a way to get him down south and on our side of the map. So why not hook him up with one of the other hottest artists on Def Jam? Let's hook him up with Jeezy. So they hooked YG up with us. YG started coming to Atlanta. And then they had this song. Carbon 15 put this song together. It was called My Nigga. Jeezy did not like My Nigga at all. Carbon got with Rich Homie Quan and got him and YG in the studio together. Cause Jeezy was supposed to come to the studio too, but Jeezy was like 3-4 hours late to the studio. Every time, a lot of beefs that we had was from Jeezy with his ass on his shoulders. His head was just too big. Like the Alley Boy and the duct tape beef, that shit was because Jeezy showed up 4 or 5 hours late to the video shoot. And they was trying to get him to the video shoot early so him and Yo Gotti could get a look in on the camera together. They all together. So, but Jeezy showed up like 4 or 5 hours late. They did the videos, and after that, that's when the Alley Boys and Trouble and all them started dissing. That's where that beef came from. But far as the YG shit, YG was already buzzing. Like when YG had what's that song he had? I can't think of it, but it was a big song too. He was already buzzing. We didn't really do nothing with YG, but get him that my nigga, and that shit took off. But other than that, he wasn't never signed to CTE. YG had his own motion already. He was already signed to Def Jam. So when people say that, I just try to clear it up. He was never signed to Corporate Thugs Entertainment. Because after his first album, you didn't see him with Jeezy like that. You didn't see him. For one, YG never claimed CTE. He was always YG 400. So,
yeah, for sure. For sure. I remember when it happened, though. I remember thinking that Jeezy signed him, but, you know, after that happened, I never really seen them continue to work or anything. So,
right.
I never really knew or understood what happened. But, okay, you know, I see this is kind of a funny story, man, but Jack Thriller. I seen you guys were hanging out with Jack Thriller one time.
Oh, you're talking about the comedian Honey Bun. That's his name back then, Honey Bun. What are you talking about? Yeah, he was at our video shoot for the USDA. Go on, shake your ass, bitch. I'm gonna throw this money. He was at that video shoot, him and a bunch of other comedians. And we was throwing money. So it was their time to get their take. So Jeezy handed them money. It was 20s and ones. It was all kind of money. So they were supposed to throw it when the camera went to rolling and the song come out. You know how it go video. They supposed to get to doing it. So everybody was doing it but him. And then we happened to look up. He has no money in his hand. I'm talking about no money. But he ain't through shit either. So we just watching him and he had these pants on. They was like MC Hammer pants. You know what I'm saying? So we watching. So as the shoot going on, he's not even throwing the money. And the money that's being thrown, he's reaching down and picking it up and putting it in his pants. And we watching him. We literally see him doing it. And he literally sees us watching him. So he called himself trying to leave. During the video, he just tried walking out. And my one big homeboy caught him at the door and asked him, man, like, what the f*** are you doing? And then he said some shit, and my nigga the big homie smacked the shit out of him. And then when my big homie smacked the shit out of him, he got into like a football thing and just ran through my nigga and knocked him down and ran out the strip club. It was Onyx. So you know at Onyx strip club, you got to run all the way out the parking lot and then get to the street. So he took off. But when he took off, we wasn't going to chase him because for one, it was just some 20s and some ones, you know. But we let him know that we knew we seen him and that shit wasn't going to fly. So after my homeboy smacked the shit out of him and he pushed my homeboy out the way, it was over. We went back to shooting the video. We didn't even chase him. We weren't even worried about it. But we couldn't believe he did it because we thought he was he was one of the big time comedians right now. You know what I'm saying? That's why we got y'all here. But, hey, that was crazy though. Yep, Honey Bun. That was his name back then. Jack Thriller. Cause after that, the next time I seen him, I think he was doing This Is 50 shit.
Oh, okay. So this was before the This Is 50 stuff.
Yeah. Hell yeah. This USDA. This is like 2007, 6?
Did he ever say why he took the money, or did he ever explain himself to you?
Not to us, no. But I mean, on the interviews, he explained why. He said he was broke, goddammit. He needed it. And we in there throwing, at that video shoot, we was in there throwing 100s, 50s, 20s. We was putting on for the video. So, I mean, everybody understood. Everybody, if a nigga doing something like that, that means he hurting, he need it. But he was better off. He's better off asking for something. You know what I'm saying? Hey, Jeezy, let me get a few hundred for doing the video. You know, Jeezy would have did it, but then I think he probably walked away about 2, 3, 4, 5 bands because he was stashing money. But that smack, I don't know if that smack was worth it. Cause the big homie smacked the shit out of him.
How often do rappers throw real money? Because I heard a lot of rappers will use fake money for stuff like that.
I don't know.
Probably for those reasons.
If you see anybody shooting a video in a real strip club, they probably got real money. Only time it's fake money is when it's a fake stripper setup. You feel me? Like we in a warehouse just setting up stripper poles for the video. But if we in a real club shooting a video, and back then we used to really be in real clubs, so we really did the real whatever you doing there, but we never threw no fake money. Every dollar we threw was real. And everybody know that. Like, fake, even on Thug Motivation, if you look on Jeezy's Thug Motivation CD, his first album, all that money in boxes, that's real money. He had Kinky B bring $1 million in cash to the video shoot. And even Def Jam and everybody couldn't believe it because this ain't no rap. This ain't the rap money now. This is the money. You know, it's 5, 10s, 1s, $2 bills. You know, it's straight trap money.
Were you guys ever worried that the feds were going to catch up with you guys or Jeezy was going to be arrested, especially during the BMF times?
I think it was some speculations, but like when the shit really started getting out of hand, we had really separated ourselves from them. But you gotta understand, only person that dealt with them was Jeezy. You feel me? He's the only one that had a relationship with them. Kinky B didn't hang around BMF. You know what I'm saying? None of our crew hung around BMF. It was just Jeezy. And now we happen to be with Jeezy and he going to where they at, then yeah. But other than that, nobody else has dealing with BMF but Jeezy.
When I interviewed Blue Da Vinci, he had mentioned that there was a situation where he was trying to get Jeezy to clear the song they did together. And he was saying that he got everybody to clear the song. Fabulous, and Fabulous had a few signatures that they had to get, and the record labels and everybody. And Jeezy was the only one that wouldn't clear the record. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, I know about that, but at that time, it was so much shit that was going on. Cause you gotta understand, Blue Da Vinci been a hater from the beginning, man. So it was hating shit going on already, but the relationship that Meech and Jeezy had, it never really went nowhere. Cause everybody know Blue just used to be hating and talking, man. So Jeezy never really took it serious. But you hating so much, now you want me to clear a song? You nigga. That's what it was. That nigga. I ain't clearing shit. And I'm about whatever he about. That nigga. Cause guess what? I'm out of here. We out of here, nigga. 2 deals. Ain't no stopping us now. And I ain't clearing no song for this nigga.
Now, Blue Da Vinci said that he met up with Jeezy in, I believe, Miami, and something happened, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess the crews kind of got into it or something. Is there anything you know about that?
We never got in, not when I was there, we never got into it with them in Miami. Every time we was in Miami with them, we was hanging out with them. I'm talking about they came to the penthouse at the Palms when Jeezy had a birthday party. Like, niggas was there. Like, it was we never had no issues with BMF in Miami. Now, if I wasn't there and they did, then I don't know about that. But as far as I know, nah, we never had no issues.
Okay, this would have been a meeting about the song. So.
Oh, yeah, okay. If it was a meeting about the song, no, I wasn't there.
Okay. Now, you had mentioned you guys lived in a lot of different places during your time with Jeezy. You know, I believe you guys stayed out in LA at one point.
Yeah, we was in LA for like, I want to say down there a whole year. We was in LA, we stayed in Malibu. Yep, matter of fact, it's the same. If you get on Google and look up Nicki Minaj Malibu house, that it's gonna come up. That's the house that we stayed in for like a whole year.
What was that like?
Hey man, that shit was amazing. Waking up every day, you gotta understand. Britney Spears lived right above us in another house. The guy from Reservoir Dogs lived right next to us in another house. And then we was around the corner from Calabasas and I want to call it Oak something. I can't think of the name. But that shit was amazing. Waking up every day seeing the Pacific Ocean. Like as soon as you open your eyes, nothing but the Pacific Ocean and Pacific Coast Highway, like eating at Nobles every day, just being at the beach, being on top of the hill, looking at shit, and we was recording. We was recording Church in the Streets too back then, I think. So, but yeah, that shit was amazing. It was me, my homeboy Mud's cuz. We had a few producers there. We had D Rich. That's the guy that was up under Shawty Red. We had Cardo Got Wings there. Like we had a fucking ball. I mean, that's some shit that I had never experienced either. Staying in the Malibu hills in a fucking $5 million house, everything in that was electric, doors open up electric. That was some shit.
Now, I think this was the time when Jeezy was messing with Keisha Cole.
No. Keisha Cole was back. Keisha Cole was back with Thug Motivation. That was that's like 2006, 7, and 8. Like, nah, that was him and Keisha Cole was at the beginning of his career. Cause we was still staying in Thug Mansion with all the homies.
Was there any stories or anything you could share from either of those times?
What the Keisha Cole shit?
Okay.
Let me see. Yeah, I remember one day we was all in Thug Mansion. It was like 2, 3 in the morning. Everybody sleep. But Jeezy up there doing his thing with another bitch. But him and Keisha Cole are together at the time. You know what I'm saying? But she had bought a mansion right around the corner from our shit. So while Jeezy up there doing his thing, somehow Keisha Cole's getting to our complex and she's banging on our door. I'm talking about banging on our shit. So one of the homies get up, half sleep, not even thinking, and he see it's her, so he let her in. Shit, it's his girl at the time, and here, come on in, you bang on the door. But not knowing Jeezy had a bitch upstairs. But she never seen the bitch because the bitch, we used to have these big ass luggage that look like body bags, right? And she hid in that motherfucker until Jeezy took Keisha Cole's downstairs in the basement into the pool room in the movie theater. And so when he did that, the bitch, I had to go let the bitch out the luggage. I had to go unzip the luggage and let the bitch out. And then she ran down the steps and left. But that was a crazy time.
Well, all right, man. Well, is there anything else you would like to share before we get out of here?
Man, I wouldn't I just want to say thank you, Cam, for the opportunity. I'm sure I'm going to see you again. For everybody that don't know, go to my YouTube, Clemenza, a.k.a. Clem. And I got another with YouTube called OCT, Original Corporate Thugs Podcast. So, that's all. I'm just trying to make a move.
Definitely, man. I see you on YouTube. I see things are growing, man. That's what's up, man. There's a lot of stuff going on with the YouTube right now. There's a lot of people out there making a wave, man. So that's just dope.
Right.
You know, I know you got an incredible story, and
hell
you
yeah.
know,
Like I said, you inspire me. You gotta understand. I used to be sitting down at home watching Capone news, goddamn on YouTube. So for me to be sitting right here in front of you, shit, it's a blessing. I appreciate it.
Damn. Thank you, man. I appreciate you, man, for sure.
For sure.
All right, bro.
All right, love, Cam. I'll catch you soon.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.